Fuck you, Sosa. I'm fucking Tony Montana, political refugee from Cuba, man.
What's love got to do?
Got to do with it.
That's your countdown.
Hi guys, Rob Franzese here for another exciting episode of the Break Room, Episode 2. Introducing the boys, we got Vin, Chris, Zach, and Joe, and we're going to dive right into it. Fellas, you know what really grinds my gears? Freaking New York City traffic. I had a really cool experience where I got to go to a recording studio in Manhattan, downtown Manhattan, to voice my lines for a movie that I did called Lost Cause. And I got stuck at 2.5 hour traffic trying to get home, which it should have taken me like an hour.
Holy shit.
So I was really fuming. And what grinds your gears today, Joe?
Well, there's only one thing.
Besides being a paraplegic.
Well, one thing this week just really pissed me off. Fuck you, Scottie Pippen. Sorry.
Ouch. What happened? What was that?
Fucking Scottie. He's got a book coming out, so he's just like throwing fucking shade on Michael Jordan like there's no fucking tomorrow.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Listen, Scottie Pippen's one of the greatest NBA players of all time. He's probably in the top 5 greatest defenders of all time. Yeah. His accolades are unparalleled. He's a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely. Does Jordan have the championships without Scottie? It's a big, it's the debate.
Jordan said no. Jordan's, I think, said in the Last Dance.
Here's the fucking problem. Scottie Pippen is going and throwing Michael Jordan on blast because he has a book coming out.
Yeah.
And he said something to the effect of, a back spasm or a herniated disc is way more, harder to play with than the flu.
Jeez.
All right, I'll give you that one. No problem. But then he goes as far, he starts talking about, like, how Michael Jordan, it was all about him in The Last Dance, the documentary, and he was just like a backdrop. He was just like scenery. He was just like,
okay.
Listen, it's Michael fucking Jordan.
Yeah, you are the
There's
backdrop.
no other athlete. There's no other being in the world that is going to basically be able to take the spotlight over him.
Agreed.
It just doesn't work that way. And if you actually watch The Last Dance, that's my background show when I'm home.
I'm with you, dude. I love it.
Jordan said there is no Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen.
He said something to the effect of anytime that they speak the name Michael Jordan, they should speak Scottie Pippen.
Yeah,
100%.
Because he doesn't get those 6 rings without him.
Yeah.
He gave him his huge.
Yeah,
That's
and
fucking
Scottie's
huge.
He gave everyone his dues in the Last Dance.
Scottie harped on some other comments that Jordan made, but he's paraphrasing it. He's taking it out of context, and he's not telling the whole fucking line or not the whole story. Go on Netflix, watch it for yourself. At the end of the day, Scottie Pippen started in 1987 on the Chicago Bulls. He was originally drafted by the Seattle Supersonics, and they made a trade day to move him into the Bulls, which was a great fucking move by Krause at the time.
Yep.
But Scottie Pippen didn't really become an all-star until 1990, which is 3 years later. So it's kind of hard not to get good at your job when you're playing with, in practice, the best fucking athlete of all time, the best basketball player of all time. Like
he wouldn't have become Scottie Pippen without Michael, so it works both ways.
You have no choice but to get better.
God, I love that we're starting this with sports. I'm so excited.
We haven't talked about sports, but that's one thing this week that really fucking pissed me off. And I love Scottie Pippen. I'm a big Chicago Bulls fan. I grew up in the 80s and 90s.
You're a Bulls fan?
Fuck you.
Well, is that like that's who you root for today?
No, I'm a Michael Jordan fan. So when I was a kid, Michael Jordan was like a superhero to me.
It's
he had a cartoon. He had his own cereal.
Yeah.
Like he had his own video game.
It's like LeBron nowadays in many
Fuck
ways.
LeBron. Don't even start with that shit.
No.
Here we go.
Get the fuck out of here.
Michael Jordan is undisputedly the best basketball player of all time. That's not a question. But I'm just saying the level of fame that like LeBron has nowadays compares to
Just
Jordan.
because he played with the Looney Tunes doesn't mean he's on equal ground.
It sounds like he's trying to sell books. I'm just going to throw that out.
He's got a book coming out. He's got some liquor coming out. It's just the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a reason Michael Jordan is heralded so high and esteemed so high. It's because he doesn't really get controversial with things. He does his thing. He does his branding, and that's what you love about him. He doesn't go too far or too much. Like when it's time, when it's applicable, he'll voice his opinion. Yeah. But he's not on fucking ESPN or all these radio talk shows.
It's the same thing like Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was very much the same.
And people love Derek Jeter.
Yeah. All right.
Except for me.
Scottie Pippen, man. You're grinding his gears.
I don't like
You went over the line!
Over the fucking line, big
No,
time.
I don't like Derek Jeter.
Why?
I'm a Mets fan. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck the Mets. Must end the season over there.
Wow. Wow, I haven't heard that one before.
Listen, I like the fucking Jets, Mets, Nets, and Rangers.
Oh, you're rough,
I have
dude.
had
All
no
right.
masochist over here.
fucking no joy my entire fucking life.
Hell
I'm a
yeah.
Jets fan though, so I can feel them on that.
Hell yeah.
Zach's got one. I know
What
Zach's.
went over the line, Zach?
What went over the line for me? All right.
That conversation.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. So all right, Starbucks. We have a problem. All right. Why is it that I go to Starbucks and I need to wait 35 minutes in a drive-through line to get a cup of coffee?
Coffee in the
What?
big
Why are they so goddamn slow? I could have stopped at 7-Eleven on the way here. I'd like to get a coffee every time I go here. Juices me up, like everyone does.
I'm going to tell you why they're slow.
Why?
Nobody wants to fucking work anymore. They have nobody working there.
I mean, I wouldn't want to work at Starbucks. That place is miserable.
I take issue with that because I'm sure that they deal with a lot of that hold the line up more than anything. They deal with these people like, you made my fucking coffee wrong. I've seen it in person, so
You put almond milk in this instead of oat
So
milk.
it's actually Australian, so it's allowed for him to say. It's like saying
The
bro.
term of endearment over
It's
there.
like saying bro. Oh, you.
Do you know what they
It's
say?
ironic because it's down under.
So you know
uncomfortable.
do you know how in the U.S. Online there's like WPM words per minute for typing. Australia there's CPM per minute. That determines your.
We're gonna edit this whole segment.
It's okay.
Really started off.
Oh, we're starting off strong. But anyways, Starbucks. 35 fucking minutes. I could have stopped at 7-Eleven, got a nice cup of coffee, consistent. $2. I would have been in and out in 2 minutes. Instead, I get stuck in this fucking drive-through line. I text Vin. Yeah, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Don't worry. 20 minutes passes. I've moved up 2 spots.
2 hours later.
I could not fucking stand how long I have to wait in this line for a cup of coffee. I could have just made it at home too. But I was like, let me try and be a little
Next
efficient.
time, use the Keurig.
Get it on the way. I don't do Keurig. I have my own espresso machine at home. Anyways, the other thing.
Espresso. I hate espresso. That's another over the line.
espresso.
It's espresso.
Espresso.
There's no X in espresso.
No.
Oof, my
My mother says espresso, and I'm like, what are you? Espresso. You know what she called queso the other day? Queso. Queso. She goes, oh, did you want more queso? She says, you want more queso? I said, what do you mean? She says, yeah, queso.
It's the cheese mixed with the loots.
I was like,
Like,
Ma.
it's kind of like a few weeks ago when you said mozzarella.
No. That's the
There's
name. That's the name of the podcast.
There's no fucking T in mozzarella.
I didn't. Mozzarella is.
spell it.
I have clarified this.
that's not proper Italian. When you have 2 Z's, it makes a T sound. It goes tss, like pizza. It's
To be
not
fair, though,
pizza,
to be fair,
it's pizza.
mozzarella
when there's 2
sticks.
Z's in Italian, I know a little
Z's.
Italian.
In
When
what-
there's 2
in what
Z's and
How
there's
about I
2
come
Z's
over
in
and put a
mozzarella,
fucking Z on your forehead?
there's 2 Z's in mozzarella. It's technically mozzarella.
Hold on. But here's
When
this.
can he learn Italian?
This is
I
I
speak a good amount of Italian.
I actually got the opportunity to speak to the people on the Mozzarella Sticks podcast, right? I wanted clarification. Okay, so what I asked them, I said, "Why is it mozzarella and not mozzarella?" And they went, "Well, mozzarella sticks is not an Italian thing. It's like a white thing, And mozzarella, you don't call it mozzarella sticks. You call it mozzarella sticks.
I call them mozzarella sticks. I don't know. Maybe I'll go fuck myself.
I call it, and that was what they said. Listen, I'm the messenger. Don't kill me for it. But anyways, the other thing that was over the
So Starbucks drive-through
over the
sucks. It's
fucking
basically where we're ending up.
bagel shops.
Bagels.
Bagel shops.
Oh, you kind of get
Where we
coffee
going
from
from
them
Starbucks
too?
to bagel
No,
shops?
bagel shops. I wanted a nice bacon, egg, and cheese before I came here. I wanted a nice sandwich.
Nice sandwich.
Nobody knows what that is outside of New York.
Okay.
Tri-state area.
First of all, yeah.
That's a bagel store, guys.
Did I tell you guys about the time when I went to Columbus, Ohio, and I asked for a bacon, egg, and cheese there?
That was a mistake.
Look at you like you had 4 fucking eyes.
definitely
All right.
look-
So this is another thing over the line. All right. So a couple months ago, I went to Columbus, Ohio for Origins Game Fair.
That's right.
I went to there was like a nice restaurant. They were selling breakfast products. So I was like, cool. So I went there and I asked, hey, can I get a bacon, egg, and cheese, please? And they go, what? And I was like, what? What do you mean, what? It's a bacon, egg, and cheese. What the fuck do you mean, what? And they go, oh, you want a breakfast sandwich? And I was like, it's bacon, egg, and cheese. What do you mean? Yeah, bacon, egg, and
breakfast sandwich
cheese.
with the eggs, the bacon, and the cheese.
And they're like,
on it.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So what?
Some salt, pepper, ketchup too.
They went,
Hungry man.
do you want protein on it?
Protein.
And I said, what?
I'm telling you,
I-
Massachusetts, they fucking have no idea.
Fucking
That
Boston.
close, Boston, you say bacon, egg, and cheese, they're gonna go.
Yeah.
They're gonna make bacon, eggs, and cheese
Yeah.
and put it on a platter and give it to you.
I said, what?
My gutter mind goes right to porno. Would you like some protein?
I stopped and I looked at this girl and I was like,
What the fuck? Yo, this is like 6 minutes into this thing.
we're off to a strong start. So
Bacon, egg, and cheese, the porno.
Lemon stealing horse. No.
This show stinks.
Bagels may be holy, but let us pray, you know?
Oh shit.
Right.
But yeah, don't go to Ohio if you want a bacon, egg, and cheese. They're gonna look at you like you're
never planned on
retarded.
going to Ohio, period.
Ohio's out.
Well, Columbus was a nice city. It's just that nothing was ever
People
fucking
don't like
open
him
there.
too much these days.
And so these fucking so bagel shops, right? I wanted to get a bagel. Every fucking bagel shop around me closes at 3 p.m. Why? Why?
Because they serve breakfast
Wally's
food and it's
Bagels,
fucking 3 o'clock in
5
the
a.m.
afternoon.
to 5
Fuck
p.m.
5 a.m.
every day.
24/7.
To 5 p.m. at least.
24/7.
Later than most
24/7.
people.
Open up a
Greatest bagels
24/7
in the
bagel
world.
store and then tell me you want to do that.
I
Why
told
don't
you
just
there's a
buy
20
some Jimmy Dean's and make your own sandwich.
I told
They
you.
do have 24/7 bagel stores in Brooklyn.
Yeah, of course. It's the city.
There's one in Smithtown that I go to. It's amazing. Well, it was 24/7. Now it's 24/5. Because they're not open 24 hours 2 days a week because of the Zoomers. But yeah, no, I want a nice a bagel at like 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So a nice picture this: bacon, egg, and cheese, piping hot off the grill, fresh everything bagel at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Get fresher than your own kitchen. That's all I'm saying.
2 o'clock in the
Fresh
morning.
goes
Do you know how
fast,
fucking
man,
amazing
goes
a
fast.
fresh bacon, egg, and cheese is at 2 o'clock in the morning? Oh my god, it is bliss, inexplicable.
Go to the Waffle House.
Where the fuck is a Waffle House around here?
South Carolina.
Yeah, I'll drive all the way to South Carolina. This fucking
One. Waffle House? Yeah.
Where's
I
there a
swer to
Waffle
God, I even ate there at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Where
It's
is
the
there a
only
Waffle
time-
House on Long Island?
I don't remember though.
There's no Waffle House
This
around
was a
here.
long time ago.
Chris,
I'm talking
Google
like
it.
I was in college. We went there.
Yeah, a long time ago.
And
Not
I
fucking
was like,
anymore.
Maybe they closed. I don't know, but I remember we went to a Waffle House.
Does
It's the only
Denny's
time
count?
I ever went to one.
Does Denny's count as? I mean, I think
no,
Denny's
fuck
is
Denny's.
disgusting, but does Denny's
What's
count?
over the line for me this week? Starbucks drive-through wait times and bagel shops. Chris, what's over the line for you?
What's over the line for me? You know what pisses me off? It's really just it's gonna be something small maybe that you guys don't think about and overlook, but just drives me fucking nuts. Is people that don't know how to fucking walk and hold the door open for somebody. So when you guys hold open a door for somebody, what do you do? What do you do?
I hold it open until they go through.
Right.
Depends on how far back they are. If they're like a mile back, you just close the door and you walk because they don't want to wait. They don't want to run up to that. You know.
Nobody wants to have to power walk to the
Yeah,
door,
exactly.
especially if they're going to work.
Right, but you don't let yourself inside.
No.
And then once you're inside, do this fucking thing where you're like,
Oh, no, that's
you're
weird.
holding the door open from them for the inside now. So now I gotta fucking walk like an Egyptian through the
Walk
doorway
like an
to get my
Egyptian.
fucking. It just drives me nuts. Like you pull the door open, you let the person out of the building so that there's more space for you inside for you to enter, and then you fucking go inside. And I don't know, it's just something that really fucking pisses me
You
off.
guys had a
And
rough week. Can't walk
Yeah,
through doors.
Jesus
can't get bagels,
Christ.
can't get coffee.
Traffic and fucking coffee and doors and walking.
shit.
So, let's
poor
keep
you.
it moving.
Yeah, let's keep it moving.
Sick.
Yo,
Anyway,
what the? We really chaps your ass this week.
I was totally thinking of something relevant to what we're talking about here on the show. So I was going to bring up, like,
Helpful.
why do they feel the need to make every anime live action now? Why do we need live
Because
action?
there's no original ideas.
There's nothing left, right?
There's nothing left.
Okay, that's it. That's
Well,
we have
we
to
told
admit
every
there's nothing
story there
left.
is to tell, possibly
here's the thing,
ever.
too.
Every
Here's-
thought has been
Well,
thought.
because what do we have coming? We have Cowboy
Cowboy
Bebop,
Bebop, One
November
Piece.
17th.
Now,
Yeah.
granted, that does
One
look
Piece.
cool, but One Piece, and you're talking the biggest One Piece
Yeah.
fan in the room, and
Rurouni Kenshin also.
it doesn't need to be live action.
No, it
I don't want to
defeats
see
the
a Rubber
purpose.
Man real. No, leave it as a fucking.
I'm kind of excited for
please.
live action Cowboy Bebop, though. I think that's. I mean, it looks like it's
But
shaping up
that's
to
a
be pretty
grounded
fucking
show.
cool.
When you go into the fantastic,
Yes.
like with One Piece and stuff like that, with powers. I mean, look at how Dragon Ball Z fucking flopped. That stupid movie.
Exactly.
So
That's exactly
if
where
you
my
look
mind
at
goes.
Rurouni Kenshin, the live movie, it is really well done because it
But
is.
that's a little more grounded too.
It's a samurai movie.
It's exactly.
It's just a samurai movie. There's maybe a little supernatural abilities, but it's nothing absurd, right? It's nothing a little line
But you
work.
can't compare that to Dragon Ball Z, where people are
Correct.
flying around and shooting shit out of
yeah.
their hands.
And they just announced Gundam. That's another one that they're doing.
Gundam?
live action. Yeah, they
I'm
just
a
announced
big fucking Gundam fan, and that is, listen, I went to Japan and I saw the live Gundam in action, and it looks sick. And I don't know if they could replicate that on the big screen. That's amazing, as long as it's more Gundam than people, because that was one of the big problems. Like with Godzilla, similar kind of kaiju,
Fucking
theme.
Transformers.
We don't talk about that.
Terrible.
In Godzilla, one of my favorites, I think it was
Godzilla.
King of the Monsters or Godzilla versus the whatever. It was one of the earlier late 2000s, I believe, and it was like humans versus aliens, but it was more fucking people than monsters. It was kind of like, it's like the new Godzillas. There's more people than fucking monsters. I want to just see Godzilla and Kong fucking fight each other for 2 hours. Yeah, all right, maybe like 10 minutes of like backlog, a little backstory. I don't want this bullshit of Millie Bobby Brown and her sob story. I want to see these big fuckers fighting. Like that's the draw. If Gundam has to do that, otherwise it's gonna flop.
Yeah, I think it's the reason that they're anime is that they're fantastical. They're over the top, and that's what makes the best animes great. Like One Punch Man.
You really can't replicate that stuff live action and make it look not campy.
Yeah, it becomes campy.
You like JoJo, right?
I love JoJo.
Have you seen the Part 4 live action?
No.
It's something. I'll show you after. But boy, the Part 4 JoJo live, JoJo live, like you can't replicate.
Who's your favorite JoJo character?
Dio is first. Kakyoin is second.
Joe are like, what
Joseph Joestar is third.
Joseph Joestar.
Yeah, me and Joe
Joseph
over
Joestar is
here.
my favorite
You're
Joestar.
saying.
Kakyoin I love. He's very underrated.
Here's what I'll say though. What the problem with when you make live action versions of animated things is that with live action, when you make a cartoon or an anime or any kind of animated thing, you're not constrained by reality.
Yeah,
you can have all the explosions, all the dragons, all the fucking whatever.
I feel like there should be more live action things being anime. Like
Yes,
I would watch
absolutely.
a Game of Thrones anime.
I would watch Star Wars
them.
in its entirety in anime.
Absolutely.
The Witcher was anime recently.
That's cool.
I need to watch that.
League of Legends just came out with an anime. Dota 2, phenomenal anime. Dragon's Blood, it's so good.
Like I think that's
It's-
better. You
yes,
have more
It's better. You're not
flexibility,
constrained by a budget. You're not constrained by
you said, reality.
just
Yeah.
reality physics.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
At the end of the day, it's established licenses that they have, and they're going to harp on the people who enjoyed them as a kid. They're just entertaining your nostalgia with that. So you think about the stuff that you liked as a kid. Well, now you're an adult. You have a fucking job, hopefully, and you make money. So they want you to spend that fucking money. So they put out shit that might fucking tame your interest.
May or may not hit.
I have no objections to it. I'm okay with remakes and other versions.
As long as
of
it's
stuff.
good. As long as it's good. There's a couple remakes coming out this month. Ghostbusters was one that we talked about last week, and then Resident Evil Black Friday. So we'll see.
And
what
Ghostbusters
happens.
is a sequel, so that doesn't even that's
Yeah,
I'll
but
watch-
the kids who watched it as when they were younger, Ghostbusters 1 and 2 are the ones who really want to tune into this, and they're bringing their kids with them. So hopefully their kids are going to get into
100%.
Ghostbusters.
That's the one with Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sexiest man alive.
Actually,
by
yeah,
the
that's
way.
true.
I love that little trailer they had where he was getting chased by the little Stay Puft
Oh,
Marshmallows.
so good.
It's great. Yeah, that's great. He's perfect for it.
It's great.
So I look forward to it.
That's a good segue to kind of go around the room and talk about our all-time favorite, either anime or cartoons. Rob, you want to kick that one off for me, baby girl?
So this is tough because I love cartoons.
You got one.
One period of, or can I
That
do
can
one
be
anime
only
or
one.
cartoon?
Yeah.
All right, so anime, surprisingly enough, I grew up with Dragon Ball Z, and that was always my number one. But I got to say, One Piece has overtaken Dragon Ball Z in my heart and my mind. I'm telling you, because I base it solely on the fact that the stories I find more riveting, and the characters I care about more characters than any other anime. 'Cause
Character development so
there's
important.
so many people that are introduced in that show. I mean, you figure over 1,000 episodes, you've seen a lot of adventures. So I would pick One Piece as my number one anime. My number one cartoon, Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah!
Batman the Animated Series is definitely, and there's like close ones, like, funny enough, SpongeBob. I do love SpongeBob.
Wanna give us a little SpongeBob?
F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anywhere and anytime at all down here in the deep blue sea. Ay, ay,
Hey. Those are good choices. I don't know what the fuck the first one you just talked about, but yeah.
One Piece.
Is the 1,000th episode out yet, or are we still
No,
waiting?
no. So $9.98, I believe, was the last one that released. So this Sunday will be $9.99, and then
Close. Okay.
And I went to see just recently with some friends one of the movies that came out in 2008. I think it's called, was it Strong World? They had it like re-released in the movie theaters, and they had a little thing for the 1,000th episode of One Piece, and it was like a little
That's
shout
insane.
out to that.
1,000 episodes of this, by the way.
And,
That's what
and
we're
what's
talking
crazy
about.
is how
Episodes
fast
not watched.
I caught up to
Watched
that
one.
shit pretty fast too, because I had never seen an episode before like June of 19.
Oh my god.
And by December of 19, I had caught up already.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
it was
Rob,
rough.
that's insane.
I crushed it, and then I was like on like 930 something.
Crush
And they
Enemies.
just, more and more episodes have come out since, but yeah, love that show, absolutely.
What tops your list, Vin?
So if we're gonna do like the anime cartoon kind of thing,
Yeah.
I would definitely say one of my favorites by the same director of Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo.
So good.
Love Champloo.
classic.
Like you don't have to be an anime fan to
Yeah.
like enjoy what that is. Another one, I immediately have to think when you say Batman the animated series, favorite cartoon is X-Men. So yeah, those would be my two favorites, anime and cartoon.
Like that. Sweet. Let me hear.
Um,
What shows from the 80s or 90s or anime cartoons that you didn't see?
Well, no, I mean, I don't do a lot of anime. I'll be honest, but I will say that from the bit that I watched, I one time I was like up late at night and
Up on that.
fuck, what was the name of the Death book? What was
Death
it?
Note?
Death Note.
Death
Oh,
Note was
boy.
I watched a couple episodes of that. I was kind of binging it.
I fucking hate Death Note.
Do
I'm
you?
sorry.
Death
Yeah,
Note is a
Right.
good gateway anime
Chris always
because
speaks for the things.
Well, what do you
Death
want,
Note,
you know?
Death Note is like
there
the
we go.
Good.
Death Note is like the prime time of anime.
set him off now.
Like prime time cringe anime.
He's pissed.
But no, I mean,
Look,
that's
I'll
a very
admit it's not
respectable.
campy, but I mean, like
You
I,
barked up the
as
wrong
somebody
tree.
that doesn't watch anime, it came on and actually caught my attention, and it kind of just reminded me of like a dream that I had myself. But the whole idea of like this demon that shows up and it's like, you write the name in the book and they fucking die, and he's doing it
I
for
got a
like the
few
right
names.
cause. But whatever, anime doesn't really matter to me. Favorite cartoon. I will say I wasn't even thinking of SpongeBob, Rob, but SpongeBob is definitely a good choice. But I'm gonna go with South Park.
Really?
Good choice.
Yeah, and I took a long break from South Park. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch South Park for several years, but I started watching it again.
children.
It's so good, and they're so good at staying on top of current things. I don't know if you guys know this, but with South Park, they could actually like turn out a new episode in like, I don't know what it was, like a matter of weeks, which compared to most cartoons and animated series, it takes a lot longer to make an episode.
So look at the production value of that show. It's not hard to animate.
It's gotten
those
better.
characters,
It's gotten better.
There's a
But,
documentary about that actually. There's like a small behind the scenes of like how they do that.
but that's how they're
It's-
able to
it's
stay
intense.
on top of current events,
Yeah.
and be so relevant to the ridiculous things that are going on in American culture, because they're able to churn these episodes out like right after this shit happens, and
There's been some really good quality South Park video games as well.
yes,
The newest
yes.
stuff is
starting
great.
from the
Really,
N64 even.
yeah.
The N64 South
It's
Park
like
game
an
was a lot of fun.
RPG, and then they did
they're
a
good.
superhero one.
The RPG was so much. What was the Stick of Truth?
Yeah, Stick of Truth.
I love that. I love that.
I
game.
didn't play that, but I plan on buying that one. Yeah.
The scene when you fight on like when you have to dodge the guy's nutsack flying around. That was my favorite part. I was crying from laughter at that scene because it's a quick time event too. So it's an RPG battle. You're fighting on these people's bed, and
There's
there's
fucking nuts.
there's a quick time, well, because you shrink down to fight these like rats or something, and there's a scene where it's a quick time event where a nutsack comes flying in, and you have to dodge the nutsack. I'll play the clip.
Yeah, we'll find that. Yeah, but no, South Park's at the top of my list. You know, I think they've also put out a lot more content, than a lot of other cartoons. But
and I'm sure people are surprised that I didn't pick Family Guy.
I was thinking
people who are very disappointed. I'm sure.
He's not. It's not his favorite here.
When something becomes your life, though, it's hard to say it's your favorite because you want to find something else to differentiate.
And to be honest, I haven't watched like the last 10 years of Family Guy. Yeah, it's
edit that part out.
It became like almost like my like side gig for me. So like I've just been making my own jokes. I don't. If you watch my content, I really take very little from the show. So on TikTok and stuff, I'll recreate some of the cutaways, but. Honestly, the stuff that I write
the first 3 seasons of Family Guy are unparalleled, though.
It really was.
They have some good shit now,
and
though.
that was my start with Family Guy. Everybody's like, "Oh, how did you get into Family Guy?" Yeah. But I was in high school, and my friend had the DVDs. Yeah, it was already like canceled at that time.
I remember
didn't think
that.
it was
that
coming
was
back.
huge when it got canceled, and then they brought it back.
And I used to borrow a disc at a time, and I got into the show. And then I can't remember when I started doing the voice, if it was right away or not. But it's just funny how it ended up becoming like the thing I'm known for in the world.
Yes, you are known for it. Zach.
Without taking an hour and a half, because we know you love anime more than everybody else.
3 minutes or less.
You know. Okay, I've actually never been asked before.
Okay.
What's your favorite anime? That's a loaded question. Because there's a lot. I mean,
you get
gotta choose one.
Yeah, no, of course.
Loaded like Stewie's diaper.
You know, there's just so much good stuff to choose from. There's a lot of, I mean, you know, if you were to ask my favorite anime movie, that's a different thing. But we're not talking about that.
Television.
You know,
Do it now. Pick one.
My childhood. Funny enough, I had a decision to make when I was younger. And I had a decision between Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. And I chose Yu-Gi-Oh. I had a decision.
It's time to duel.
I had a choice between. You're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck. That's one of the
Every
characters.
episode is the same. It's like, you'll never defeat me with your inferior deck. Not if I have anything to say about it. I place this card face down.
I play Pot of Greed to draw 3 cards. And then I play Pot of Greed to draw 3 more cards.
My grandfather is trapped in the Shadow Realm.
You never saw this coming. I summoned Pot of Greed to draw 3 additional cards from my deck.
You know, funny. I worked with Dan Green, who voices Yugi in that show.
That's amazing.
I got to work with him. He's my voiceover coach, actually.
Hey, my sister needs a surgery.
I'm Brooklyn Rage.
Everything you're saying is
My sister's blind, Duke.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
No, it's phenomenal.
So funny.
Bandit
Keith pulls out a gun.
That's your pick, though?
So it's Yu-Gi-Oh?
No. But I had
It's not Yu-Gi-Oh?
my childhood was defined by anime. I had to choose between Avatar and Naruto. I chose Naruto.
That's right, James Cameron Abada.
Naruto is one of my favorites, but I think recently, JoJo would be my favorite because there's just so much that has come from JoJo, and JoJo is like one of the most like memeable and like most, I guess, iconic anime you can say. You will watch a clip and you'll be like, that was fucking weird. That was funny.
Shit's fucking hilarious. It's honestly one of the funniest.
Yeah.
Like, the guy is just like, because like Joseph Joestar, who's my favorite character, he'll just start saying shit in English. He's like, oh my god, oh, and son of a bitch, help me, oh my god, son of a bitch, and I fucking die.
These are
and, like, saying shit
Japanese voice actors in the booth will be like, you know, Nigerundayo, be screaming something in Japanese, and then literally be a minute later, holy shit!
Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Like it's so good.
But he's so funny.
But
that one character is my absolute fucking
There's
favorite.
just so many bangers from that show, and it gets better and better and better. But yeah, JoJo's probably my favorite.
He fucking literally survives getting his blood sucked out.
Also, rumor I heard possible live action Naruto. So yeah, I don't know.
Oh, no.
Chew on that one. There you go.
I saw that in middle school enough.
My favorite cartoon. This is an easy one for
I'm
me.
lying. I'm too old. I wasn't around in middle school.
Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Oh, that was great.
Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
A live action Ed, Ed, and Eddie?
No.
We've gone too far.
That's my favorite cartoon. Close second is Batman Beyond.
Oh, that was great. That was better than anyone ever anticipated because
Yeah.
they did get like the original Bruce Wayne, who is voiced by
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy. Thank you.
I grew up. I didn't grow up with the animated series. I grew up with Batman Beyond.
The no. I am Batman. Yes.
That's my taste. What about you?
Jesus Christ.
There we go, Joe.
Really
Bring it
fucking
home,
old
Joe.
right now. Thank God He-Man is behind me. Otherwise, I have some fucking
There
protection
you
here. Yeah, growing up in the 80s, I mean, Rob has every single G.I. Joe. He showed me the other day. He's got the he's got the Terradrome. He's got the fucking Slaughters, Marauders. He has fucking everything. So G.I. Joe, He-Man, Transformers, Thundercats, Silverhawks, Mask.
You get one, Joe.
Listen, I mean that's
Fucking
the
you get one.
I'm not and
Just
pick
name
any
10.
of them. All of those were amazing. But if I had to pick one, Batman animated series would be up there as well. I'm not picking that though.
Okay.
My favorite cartoon of all time is clearly Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Idiots, I will dine on turtle soup.
Give me some Rocksteady.
We're gonna squash the turtles.
Cowabunga! Yeah, by far, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had
All the
every-
toys.
I
had
want
all the
those
toys. I had the
turtles.
van.
Not excuses.
I just didn't. What was the big dome thing called with the brain?
The Technodrome.
Technodrome. Yeah, I
The
didn't have
brain is
that.
Krang.
What did you
My mom would be
What did
like,
you think of
nah.
the live action movies from Ninja Turtles?
The first two.
Oh, the
I
first
I
couple
love
were
those.
amazing.
I love those.
I have all the
Views.
NECA collection from
Hell yeah.
first 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Amazing. Jim Henson did an amazing job there. The second one was good. The third one went a little off where they were like
Oh, the
samurais
history
in
one? Yeah, I
Japan.
didn't like
Yeah.
And then it just fell apart from there. They rebooted the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Trash.
so many times.
yeah.
Michael Bay trash.
You know that
Explosive
that
trash.
animated movie they came out with in the early 2000s is actually pretty decent.
Well, that was derived from the show, like in 2009. No, 2009 Turtles, the remake of Ninja Turtles.
It was a cartoon, like CG, like animated movie, but it was really good. I don't remember what year. it
Nothing
came out,
beats
though.
the '80s Turtles cartoon.
No.
Nothing beats that.
Actually, you know what? The one that came out in like 2013 or 14ish.
The
like,
Nickelodeon one.
That Nickelodeon
Nickelodeon
that
was close.
That was really good.
Was
I
close.
did enjoy that. It had more character development for some of the original turtle characters.
The art was nice on
Gave
that.
them
The
some
figures
love.
were good. It all comes down to the toys. If the toys are cool, that the show's gonna sell.
Well, the game that the SNES game. I don't know if you guys ever played that. It was one of my favorite.
The arcade?
Turtles in Time.
That was the.
The one that starts in the burning building?
It's like a side scroller, and
Oh
and
yeah.
it's multiplayer. So
Yeah,
me
yeah.
and my
Yeah.
brothers
It's the arcade
would
one.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Turtles
we
in Time.
We
Yeah,
used
yeah.
to have this big ass van that had a TV in it when we were kids growing up, and we had an SNES plugged into the TV in the van. So like when my mom would drive us places, we were able to play video games. It was the coolest fucking thing ever. And that was pretty much the go-to game in there. Was that Super Nintendo side scroll?
I beat that game once with my friend Mike.
God,
that was
so many
tough.
quarters wasted on that game.
we
You can
played-
actually get that entire arcade cabinet, Arcade 1-Up. I think they sell it in like Walmart and things like that. It's like $400.
It's like a short, like a small
Yeah,
one, right?
but it's you can get like the riser for it too. One of my best friends, Steve Bias, he makes them and he emulates them. So really cool shit. But yeah, that's an actual 4-player. You should get it for the break room at some point. 4-player
I have more room for shit.
arcade Teenage Mutant
There's
Ninja Turtles.
Barcade in the city.
Yeah,
that
it's a
place
cool
is
spot.
awesome.
That's where I played it
we,
at.
we rocked that the last time we went. We should go there. We
Nothing
should
beats
take
going to the
a.
arcade, man.
Remember the
field
Comac
trip.
Multiplex? They used to
Oh,
have
yeah.
the Simpsons arcade game and Rampage.
You couldn't really stay in that movie theater for too long though. That was,
I'm
stuff was always
talking
going
like the
down.
early '90s. Like not too. I mean, stuff was going on then too. Because when The Godfather Part 3 came out, my brother wanted to go see it in the movie theaters, and there was a shooting at the theater.
Yeah,
like, the
that
day
theater's a
before it
little.
opened,
yeah.
It's rocky.
They're gone now. They're a Lowe's now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was the South Bay. What you call it? Movie theater down over by Main Street. What
in
the hell
Babylon?
is it? Yeah.
Yep.
That place. I forget. I almost lost my shoes in that.
But that was like a dollar matinee.
These
You could
shoes?
go in there for
Yeah.
$1, $1.50,
Yeah.
and see a movie,
Yep.
which it was dim. Anyway,
It's a
think
pretty
I
good
saw the
segue though
Flintstones
too.
movie
We
there.
talked about movies in episode the pilot.
yep.
We talked about video games in our first episode. Now we're really honing in on TV. So let's go there. Let's actually go around the table, starting with you, Rob. Favorite TV series of all time?
Favorite TV series. Jeez.
That's not an anime.
Like
It's a
live action TV series.
TV series. It could be. We're not talking like sitcoms here. We're talking like A-Team.
Totally.
Top. Sitcoms will be funny.
Shit.
How is it that hard for you to fucking pick a choice?
Well, I mean,
we should eliminate
Breaking Bad was really good.
You're gonna pick Breaking Bad as your favorite of all time?
See, it would have been Game of Thrones if they didn't fuck up the last season.
We're here.
Those fucking
You want to open this can of worms? We can do it now.
Can of worms has been opened.
This is the season
Save
finale.
it. Save
I'm in the middle of rewatching.
I'm so
it's
mad.
Great. It's great.
It was such. Every episode was riveting. All the shit that was going down.
Yes.
We couldn't wait for the next fucking episode. We used to watch it together.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a whole event.
It was.
And then that last season was like a steaming pile of shit.
They fumbled it.
It's like
Well,
Ryan
all right,
Johnson.
you know what?
took over
All
the
right,
fucking
you know,
season.
if we
No,
keep
no, no,
going,
no.
if we keep going, I'm gonna have to address that because I'm gonna
butt
maintain it was not a steaming pile of shit. There was some things that weren't good.
Yeah,
It was
brand the
rushed.
broken storyline.
There
Fuck
was
that shit.
There was a lot of.
We're
good,
gonna have a whole game of.
Can I let him pick his fucking
We're
choice?
Well, hey,
We're gonna have-
he's opening it up.
We're gonna have a whole Game of Thrones thing one day. That is not for today, though.
Oh, it's gonna be a little bit of today.
Hey,
Rob.
We talk about TV. We
Shit.
talk about Game of Thrones.
It's tough because like I don't watch a whole lot of TV shows, and
I don't drive when they're predicting rain.
yeah,
Fucking TV shows.
because even The Sopranos is up there. You know,
You get one choice, Rob.
I know it's tough. It's a fucking
We didn't
tough
prepare for
choice.
this, so this is off the top
This
of your
is
head.
off the
just
top
like,
of my
oh,
head,
Pick a
yeah.
show,
That's
your
Why it's
favorite.
good though. It's just your visceral reaction.
Visceral reaction.
I feel like we'll,
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. Fuck it.
Wow.
see what I mean?
Breaking
We're gonna.
Bad.
Holy shit.
And the reason why I say that is because it was consistently good throughout. I mean, I liked it enough that I don't buy fucking TV series on
You got the box
Blu-ray,
set?
but I got the whole fucking thing right
He's got
there.
it behind him,
Got
folks.
the whole barrel and shit.
What doesn't he have behind him is the better
It's,
question.
Pandora's box back there too.
It was just well
right.
executed, and it was a show that I went in with zero expectations.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna like the show. The show was almost over by the time I started.
We have to cook.
And then I powered through that series, and I even got my parents into it. My parents were watching the show. It was a good one. Solid television show.
All right, I take that. Those are good choices. Vin, where are you going? Before Sweets gets upset again.
Yeah, you know, it brings up you when you say that it brings up that conversation.
This is the whole point.
Think about Game of Thrones. I think about, of course, how into it I was. Man,
Listen, don't let Rob sway you.
No, Rob's not swaying me. I'm just thinking. I'm just trying not to regurgitate what I've already said in the past.
No one's heard that already. Go ahead and regurgitate it.
I immediately think The Sopranos. You know, because that's just from beginning to end. The greatest show of all time. It redefined television. You can't overstate how good Tony Soprano is as a character.
Oh, what a fuck eye.
Yeah, all the one-liners, all the moments.
Over here.
That was the first show that it would be like, everyone come to my house. We're all having a big Sunday epic. It would be like, bring Antipasto. Like, we really made it a big deal, especially in those last seasons as I was like, just about to graduate high school, I believe. So.
And I keep forgetting to break it out, but in that room over there, I got a box of HBO macaroni with Tony Soprano on the front.
Jesus.
It was a promotional thing because my Aunt Di used to work for the cable company. And they
so she
got
got all
like
that stuff?
promotional shit. She had a Sopranos jacket.
I want that cookbook, actually.
Oh, my dad actually, when he used to work for Time Warner Cable,
Bada bing.
he got I have a metal Sopranos notebook at home. That it's pretty fresh. With HBO. It's all HBO stuff though. So.
Macaroni's older than fucking half my family.
I'm really anticipating what Chris has to say over here.
I mean, we already know what he's
I'm on
going
the
to
edge
say,
of
so
my
just
seat.
go ahead and say it, Sweet.
Sweet, hit us. Favorite
do it.
show
Just
all
do it,
time.
Fuckers, because you know what, you're not even gonna give me the chance to
No, I
substantiate
will back
the
you
why.
up, dude. I will
All
back
right?
you
No,
up.
this is your segment.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
well, if the stage is mine,
Stage is yours.
Go ahead. The conch.
you did eliminate sitcom. You said no sitcoms in the beginning, but I do want to say if
could
I
throw
had
it
to
out
choose
there.
a sitcom, All in the Family is such a good fucking show.
Either give me a beer, huh?
Edith, can you
Which
give
they
me
probably
a beer?
wouldn't allow on TV anymore.
Girls for girls and men, women.
We could use a man like
Have it over again.
All right. Anyway, now that we got that out of the way, yeah, no, Game of Thrones.
It is.
I'm gonna go Game of Thrones.
Spoilers.
And here's the thing. First of all, it got me into the books. because I watched the first 2 seasons. I binge watched those, and I could not wait to find out what happened next.
Same.
And so I read all the books. Read them, not the audiobooks. I have done the audiobooks too countless times, but I read them. Yep. And reading those books was like just one of the coolest times of my life. I can't explain it. I remember like really just trying to like get through them. And then you had this power because like you knew more about the story than the people who just watched the show. Mm-hmm. So people were watching the show and they had no idea what was going to happen. And you're like, oh my God, everyone's going to die.
Wedding.
The red wedding. You're like, everyone's going to die, and you get to watch it happen. You know, look,
really,
you know,
it was an event.
It's all-time great TV.
No other TV
like
show.
6 or 7 of us that would get together and watch the show
Right.
together.
Yeah. I was the same way with my friends. We'd get together and watch Game of Thrones, and then
They literally fucked that last season so badly. They wrote themselves out of
Well, look,
final episode.
Here's the thing.
Just the last episode.
Despite the last season,
Episode.
it's still my favorite show, and only because I'm trying very hard to maintain my composure.
Fuck composure.
and-
That's what
and
this
restraint.
podcast is for.
Well, I don't want to
This isn't a
monopolize
fucking
all my
composure
time talking
podcast.
about how this finale wasn't that bad, because the episode will never end. I think that's its own kind of thing that we could talk about one day.
I could give you 10 minutes, Chris.
If you want to give me
No,
10 minutes,
10 minutes,
please.
I'll be my asshole full of
Yeah, you guys will be done. But no, you know,
minutes.
even despite the last season, which had a lot of great memorable moments that everybody wants to discount, like for instance, the Cleganes battling, the battle for Winterfell, the destruction of King's Landing,
just the
all
last
great
episode.
scenes. But anyway, just for what it, you know, A Song of Ice and Fire is what it's really
They
called.
did Jon Snow so fucking wrong in that show.
I can't do it. I
don't
can't.
want
They
it.
really
I can't
made
be
him like
it.
a
I
little
won't.
bitch in that last
That's
season.
Azor
right.
Ahai,
John
the prophesized one.
Love that guy.
Yeah, we're just gonna
because I
we're gonna
think
put him in the
Jon-
dungeon.
Don't. Yeah.
The more you guys want to go on about it, the more you're gonna make. You're gonna
on
love
fire.
it. This
John was
episode's
one of
gonna
my
be another
favorite
hour.
Legitimately kerosene on a fire.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say though. You know, it changed TV. No other show. Now you see it, but
Production
no other
value.
show would kill the main character
In the first
several
season.
times.
Yeah,
Like
several
several
times.
main characters.
Every time
It's
you have a
the-
main character gone.
It's the only show that actually made you worry. Oh my God, are they all just gonna get fucked? Is he
Yes.
just gonna fuck everybody? And
Spoiler,
just
Don't
Yes.
do it. Don't go there. Don't do it. Don't trust them.
You know?
Don't do it.
So you never know, and now you're starting to see that, but you didn't see that before Game of Thrones.
It's true.
And
true.
you know they were constrained, like I was talking about before, when you're constrained by reality. George R.R. Martin has a fucking insane fantasy imagination where all kinds
He's
of
the new
crazy
Tolkien.
shit, dragons, direwolves, explosions, fire, whatever the fuck.
Inspired by
They were
Tolkien.
constrained by reality and a budget. If you want a good book
And
about
not
it,
having material to rewrite because they were very good at
Right.
rewriting and condensing what George wrote, but without the next book, because George keeps fucking delaying and balking, and it takes time to write these things.
The
but
Winds of Winter still
Jesus
hasn't
Christ,
released, right?
Yeah, but
still not out.
George's
so those guys
justification, he
cannot-
said, it seems like a long time for you guys, but this is my magnum opus, and, you know...
I'm just saying for the show, like it just hurt
It
the
did hurt the
show
show.
writers to not be able to adapt what was in the books. That's what they were good at, and it's honestly what killed their careers because they weren't able to. I don't think they were able to carry the torch in the same way if they had the material to adapt. So.
Well, they also had to slim so much stuff out for TV because TV audiences are different.
Yeah.
So
but
they
again,
had
the first seasons are awesome, and then when you lose track, you veer off from where the books are, currently. Or what's the last book?
the Dream of
Dragon?
Spring is. Oh, you mean the last one that came out?
Yeah, it's the Dance of Dragons.
Yeah, I always forget the names of them, honestly. Book 5. Yeah.
So yeah, after that moment, everything gets a little weird because they just don't have the source material to go by, and you can feel the pace change. It all of a sudden
Yes.
goes from how do we fit all this into 10 episodes to shit, how do we write 10 episodes of this? So then all of a sudden you have a 7 or 8 episode season and then a 6 episode season. That's what affected the audience the most to me, or from my perspective, was the change in pace. If you get 8 seasons with 10 episodes each and Bran isn't missing from an entire fucking season, maybe the ending comes in a little more coherent to the audience, but I think that change of pace is perceived by the audience
As rushed.
very clearly, and it feels rushed. And when you get to that ending and they just kind of give you the wrap up, it's like,
Yeah.
what? Are you fucking kidding? I remember feeling confused by the end. I was sitting there.
That left me,
What
and
the
again,
fuck?
this is the challenge with talking about this because
we're
again,
gonna go
the
20
episode's
minutes,
going to
easy.
become a Game of Thrones episode,
Yeah,
and I
I
don't
know,
want
I
to
know.
do that. And I would
Or
love to
do
argue
you?
these points, and we
Yeah.
will.
Oh, I can't wait. We're gonna theme it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
dress up. I
We will.
can't wait.
We will. I'll dress up as
how
Maester
to do it.
Price,
All right, so we know Chris's favorite is Game of Thrones, and we can go.
I just want to mention
on.
another thing.
Sorry.
Is that there's a great book. It's called Fire Cannot Kill a Dragon. I forget the name of the author, but it's a guy with Entertainment Weekly. He's pretty much on the set the whole time interviewing everybody, and it talks about how they made the show and all of the challenges that they dealt with from the pilot, which was from the start.
The
it was
pilot
always
even they had to reshoot.
yeah,
right?
yep.
It
And they
was
talk
not
about
good.
that. They talk about that. That's a big part of it. But the main thing to take away from it is that the show was always impossible to produce, and they somehow were able to do it for a lot of seasons. And if I take all the joy that those, let's just say 6, 7, whatever seasons gave me, it's still more than most TV shows do.
I'm
have
rewatching
given
it
me.
now for the first time in like 2 years, because that would be an annual rewatch similar to Sopranos. I would like go back, rewatch from episode 1 all the way through. I hadn't done that in 2 years. I didn't even do it during quarantine, but I'm doing it now, and with fresh eyes, it's still fucking awesome. So I'm like, I just watched Joffrey die, which is one of the greatest moments ever. It's one of the most satisfying deaths in all of TV, of any TV villain. So I want to agree with Chris that, yes, I don't like that last episode more or less destroys the whole show. But yeah, you watch a lot of plot lines that are developing in season 3 and 4, and you just don't get any fucking answers. And I just ask myself, didn't these guys go back and watch everything and maybe take some notes like, oh, hey, we started to pull this thread, or we should maybe wrap this one up? I don't know. It feels like they didn't do that. So, but it's still a great fucking show.
And
I'm
what's
enjoying
hilarious
every
is
moment of it.
Jack
Peter
Gleason-
Dinklage is fucking awesome.
Jack Gleason's a really nice guy too. The guy that played.
You met him, right?
Joffrey. I met him. Yeah. And it was kind of hilarious because I was dressed like Peter. I was like, you're like the Meg of primetime television.
So, Zach, I mean, Chris,
Oh, yeah.
Game of Thrones.
we
dude.
got
We
one
love
guy.
you. We love you.
So I don't really watch a lot of TV anymore. I feel like I'm more interested in watching movies than TV. That's just me. And if I do watch TV, it's gonna be anime. But I would say this is a bit of a weird one. I mean, Game of Thrones is probably my number 2.
Oh,
My number 1, though, in terms of consistency, it's very short. It's 10 episodes on Netflix. It's called Bodyguard. Richard Madden.
Holy shit! I was just thinking, isn't there
Richard
a Game
Madden.
of Thrones character?
Yep, Richard Madden plays
Rob Stark. Rob Stark.
It's based in the UK, and it's about a bodyguard for, I believe it's the Prime Minister. And it's a really interesting dynamic because he's he's either a war vet or he has PTSD. So he's fighting PTSD, and it's a very like real depiction of everything that, and it's a very there's a lot of tension, a lot of very well built drama. I won't say any spoilers or anything.
Bodyguard?
Bodyguard. Yeah, you should definitely watch it. It's like 10 episodes, an hour each. There's a lot of really like what the fuck like twists to it in a 10 episode span. It just.
I'll admit, I've been having such a problem as I get older watching new things.
Yeah.
I find myself rewatching shit a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
people said, watch Peaky Blinders. That's probably like at the
my
top
dad
of the
watched
I've been
suggested
told
list.
that also, and I just can't get into it.
And
I
they
can't
rank
start.
it that like it's as good as Sopranos, as good as Game of Thrones, and I'm like, I don't know about that. That's like, don't set that bar that high, but I hear consistently it's very good, but I'm having a problem watching new stuff.
too,
And
yeah.
I'll have the Sopranos on. I'll have
Last Dance.
I'll have the Last Dance running while I'm like on the computer doing
I would
edits.
I would rather watch a movie though. If I'm gonna sit down and digest something, I'd rather it be a movie that I can get it all in one viewing session and have like
The
a.
dude that played the Scarecrow is in that show.
Yeah,
Peaky Blinders, yeah.
I'd rather like a cohesive, well built, I guess idea on what I watched and an understanding. Whereas a TV show, it's time I think is the biggest thing nowadays. Yeah, episodic, and it's also time. We have so little time nowadays
Yeah, absolutely.
to sit down and digest.
To do this right now,
Yeah,
you say?
yeah. To sit down and digest a whole fucking TV show that could take weeks, if not months, to finish. That's a big commitment. Whereas a movie, I could sit down and watch 2 to 3 hours,
You're in, you're
whatever.
out.
See, that's why I've actually kind of like I really don't watch any TV movies, anything lately. I've been doing
I don't even have cable anymore.
I don't
Oh,
either.
I cut cable.
true, yeah, cable's
it's all services.
done.
But I do
Done. You're
audiobooks,
dead.
podcasts, and audiobooks. You know, I find myself just listening because, to your point, of not having enough time.
Yeah.
You can do that shit while you drive. You can do it while you're raking leaves. You know, whatever. You could always listen. So I've kind of switched to that type of thing.
Could I ask a rapid fire question then to you guys? You cut cable, right? Most people don't have cable.
Let's look.
Rapid fire. Give me an answer. If you could only have one streaming service, what would it be?
Disney Plus.
Netflix.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Because you got HBO, you got Disney, you got Netflix,
Rapid fire.
Hulu.
Yeah, rapid fire. Oh man.
That's not rapid fire.
You know, if you get rid of Max, you don't have Game of Thrones.
2.
I'm just saying you don't have your favorite show if you don't have
1.
HBO.
He failed.
I guess there it goes.
You said Hulu.
Fuck the rapid.
Hulu is the final answer.
We default to Hulu? Is that really the answer?
What's yours then?
Disney Plus for me.
Sure.
We've talked about it a few
And I'm
times.
basing this on like the sheer like love of the things that they have on there.
Marvel and Star Wars.
Marvel. You know, even like the cartoons from the '90s are
Absolutely.
all on there. Like, there's just so much on there that like.
I should have waited to
nostalgia-
ask
And
the
it's
question.
$6.99 a month. You cannot beat that.
Right now, yeah.
And that's not to take away
the
from
value
the
is
Knock on wood,
incredible.
knock on
But-
wood.
but
Don't
then-
tell
I
didn't say
them
that.
that.
Edit this
but
out.
yeah,
Take
But
this
then,
out.
but then here's a question: do you feel like there are too many options when it comes to streaming services?
Yes.
Do you think that there are too
Absolutely.
many streaming services?
It's becoming
Do
cable
you
again.
think that there's going to become like?
I don't even get to do my
Cable.
pick yet.
I feel
Unbelievable.
bad.
Do you think
I
that-
fucked
Do
up.
you think that cable's going to be back? Because
No,
basically
never.
what's going to happen is that they're going to package these deals and they're going to make deals where you get Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus for this fee.
I hope not.
Exactly what
That's
That's what
probably what's
Verizon
gonna
does and
happen,
everybody
yeah.
does.
What's your streaming service, Joe? What'd you say? You said Disney
I
Plus.
said Disney
No,
Plus.
no.
yeah.
What is your show? I'm sorry, Joe. I should have waited.
Yes, for shows. I mean, there's so many shows that I can choose from. Like, just topping my list would probably be, Game of Thrones. Despite that last season, for me, like Game of Thrones was like getting to see a huge Lord of the Rings episode every
Yep.
weekend. It was an
Yeah.
event.
Yep.
I also love The Shield, which
Oh yeah, it was a good.
bang
one.
for your buck. From start to finish, there's not a single bad episode of The Shield. And if you ever want to binge watch one show, that is the show to watch, because once you start it, you cannot stop it.
That's
Okay.
on
That's
FX.
all Michael
I gotta
Chiklis,
drop-
right?
Michael Chiklis,
Yeah,
All in
dude.
the Family. Come on.
That's on
Yeah, and
FX
you
for
also
anybody
played the
that
thing,
doesn't
did he
know.
Yeah,
not?
he did.
He did.
he
It's
not?
clobbering time.
And what was crazy about The Shield was that it was cable TV. It wasn't pay for TV. So it would come on at like what was it,
FX.
like 11 o'clock at night on
Yeah,
FX.
but it was an HBO branded.
It
type
was
of show,
it was
for
quality
sure.
wise like something you would see on like HBO or Showtime, but it would come on at like 11 p.m. or something late, and they pushed like the envelope of what you could
Yeah.
put on cable
God.
TV.
I used to watch Sons of Anarchy. It was kind
Yeah,
of a
but
guilty
that's
pleasure.
actually the same
There
director.
would be no
a lot
Sons
of the
of
same
Anarchy.
actors.
It was good for a
started on
while.
if you like Sons, you will love The Shield, because The
Okay.
Shield came
Shields.
first.
Yeah.
Put
So
it on
if
the
I
list.
had to rate a show from start to finish, The Shield is by far the best show of all time. It's not my favorite.
Got it.
I would also say Spartacus was also an amazing show, despite having to change actors
Oh,
because
that's right,
one of
he
the
passed
actor
away.
passed away.
Yeah.
But the second actor that got to play, he was still very, very good. The show was just, production-wise, was fucking amazing. But yeah, I have to agree. Like, my favorite show of all time, if you put it on today, I'll just watch it and just hours will go off and I don't even realize it is by far The Sopranos.
Yeah.
So I think I could always go back to that. It doesn't matter how much time has passed, how many years have gone. I can just always just throw it on, and I can throw any episode on.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be like the first one of the first season. It could be any episode 5, season, whatever, and I just fucking love it.
Yep.
I don't drive when they're predicting rain. So yeah, that segues us into the topic, the it topic.
The it topic of the week.
Are you guys ready to see who stays and who goes? Dun, dun, dun. Sopranos or Breaking Bad. Chris is fucking sweating right now. Or Game of Thrones.
That's logical.
Sweet. We're going to start with you. Clearly, you're not picking Game of Thrones because it's your favorite. So, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. One has to go. Who are you taking out?
I can't do it. I can't. Gilly. I can't do it. I really can't, because I mean, Breaking Bad, before Game of Thrones ever existed, I was watching Breaking Bad, and Breaking Bad was my Game of Thrones before before it. You know what I
You're
mean?
throwing out the Sopranos? I'll break your jaw right now.
I can't throw out The Sopranos.
You're throwing out breaking your
I can't throw out Game of Thrones. I can't.
This is getting interesting. We gotta pick one.
Can I abstain? Can I?
No.
Can I?
No.
Defeats
That's
the
not how this
point.
fucking works here. You gotta.
If you had to take one on the spaceship,
Believe me, this is
take
hard
two.
for me.
You don't understand. This is like the hardest
Rob's
choice
already
for me.
fucking sweating. Look at this.
All three of those shows,
Roasted
like
down here.
Breaking
Roasting.
Bad, was the first show I remember making my heart thump in my chest. Watching this fucking guy, Walter White, in these situations, like the scene where he takes the crystal and then fucking throws it like on the ground, and the warehouse,
Hell
like
yeah.
the
When he
windows
throws the
blow
fucking
out.
pizza on the roof. That's gotta be
Joker when he
Oh,
blows
yeah.
up Joker's like place. Oh my god.
You know, Sopranos. It's like that'd be like killing my fucking family. You know what I mean? Like just Paul. Even
Chris
just Paulie
lives
alone.
Thrones.
Thrones it can't. Thrones cannot go.
You have to pick one.
Thrones is Chris's religion.
But yeah, I know
one.
more about
Pick one.
Game of Thrones, and here's the thing. I hate just saying Game of Thrones because it's a Song of Ice and Fire.
Like asking an
It
old
was a
Italian
book
lady between
series.
Jesus and Padre Pio. Like,
But which TV series are you eliminating?
The
Not
only
book
reason
series
why
right
I'm
now.
eliminating Breaking Bad is because there's been so much time since I enjoyed the shit out of it that it's like, all right, it's almost like it's the easiest to detach from. But if I had just watched all of them fresh and been in the moment, I would just fucking die. I would just spaz out and die. But because of the time that has gone on, that has kind of like dulled my, I guess, love and appreciation a little bit.
There's been other shows like Better Call Saul and things like that.
I haven't actually watched Better Call Saul. It's just a
Season
show.
2 is awesome.
Yeah.
Season 1 I didn't love, but season 2 is really cool, and 3 is awesome too.
And you know what? That gives me
Breaking Bad
this
won.
gives me a reason to watch that. But for now, and you know, this is literally like deciding which one of my children I want to kill.
You don't have any kids though.
I don't have any kids. Yeah, thank God.
you got the dog.
You got
No, don't talk about dogs. I
Yeah.
love my dog.
But no,
You can
yeah,
kill all those
it's
TV
gonna be
shows you
Breaking
want.
Bad.
Somebody touches
It's gonna
my
be
dog.
Breaking Bad for that reason,
Alright.
and I'm
That's
not
out?
happy about it.
Okay.
I'm not happy about it.
Zach Attack.
Oh God.
It's not an anime, so it should be an easy one for
No, this is probably the hardest choice.
you. Yu-Gi-Oh! No, I'm kidding.
Oh, boy. Oh God. All right. It does feel like killing one of your children.
I hope this gets split, so at least my vote counts this time. So last time
All right.
my vote didn't matter.
Maybe we should have went to you first.
All right. You know,
Wow, everybody! This is the worst one out of all the
This is
three.
definitely the hardest.
This is
Well,
a
it's
sweat
sweat
fest.
swallowing
Holy shit! We should have started the fucking podcast with this fucking topic.
Game of Thrones, I think, in a lot of ways, defines the current media empire of how you construct a show and a movie, and it set the tone for fantasy very well. And I think Game of Thrones helped propel that industry and that setting in a lot of ways.
Opens it to a new audience.
Yeah, Game of Thrones stays for me.
Nice. I like where this is going. Oh, actually, I don't know. I have a feeling I know where this is going. I have a feeling.
Sopranos, okay.
Ooh. See, I'm
Zach, you're that far from me over here right now.
I'm feeling it.
Not allowed to
I'm feeling it. Yeah, that's true.
He rises.
Very intimidation, Joe.
I can feel your presence right next to me.
His power level's over 9,000.
It's over 9,000. Sopranos
Like
is.
Napa.
I have no idea the reference. I'll take it.
We need to get him a scouter. we need. We need
To the jacked
I'm gonna-
up, bald-headed guy.
He needs the tail.
do you have a scouter, Rob? Do you have a scouter?
No,
We need-
Scouter.
One day.
We're gonna shave the beard and leave the mustache. I'm telling you. He turns
No,
this
it's the
fucking
goatee.
out.
It's the goatee that goes
Don't
down.
fucking
Don't
scream
go
at me with your fucking 48% body fat and you scroungy little bastard. Fuck you guys.
You just gotta scream, it's over 9,000!
Let the man choose.
All right, sorry,
Let
Zach.
the man
I'm
choose.
sorry.
Sopranos is an amazing show. Cinematographic. I don't know. Masterpiece in cinematography and storytelling.
acting.
Yeah, but it goes.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew he was gonna say that. It's wild.
Sopranos goes.
Sopranos is out.
He's not one of us, though. He's not.
I'm
he
not
doesn't have the
Italian.
blood.
I did not grow up with Sopranos. I grew up with Breaking Bad. I grew up with Game of Thrones, I guess, in my middle age.
Cool, I love it.
But
I respect
Sopranos
it.
goes for me in terms of nostalgia, and this is not on a show quality. This is like just Sopranos.
It's like you insulted his grandmother.
Sopranos
You know,
goes.
it's about time one of Joe's things dies. You know, you
Fuck
kill
you.
Lord of the Rings, you kill Grand Theft Auto, now we kill one of yours. How does it feel, Joe?
And Breaking Bad is such a there's so much to it. I mean, you get Bryan Cranston, who is, Malcolm in the Middle. You think he's hilarious. No, he plays one of the most iconic characters of all time.
I went to a Broadway show. I watched him play the lead in Network, and he is phenomenal.
He is
Guy's over the top.
incredible. I can't express disdain for a character, I guess, other than Joffrey, but more than Skylar.
Oh my
I
God! Yes.
hate
Yeah.
Skylar.
But you know what? She
I
really wasn't
hate
wrong. She was.
Skylar.
I hate her. Everyone hates her, but like she
well,
really wasn't
realistically
wrong.
speaking, she wasn't wrong. But then, like, she did wrong things too.
Yeah,
I
she fucked
Ted.
Ted.
Yeah. There's
And look
just
what happened to him. He fucking broke.
every single plot line.
Oh my God!
Every single
Pass the
plot
salad.
line ends in a nice, concise way. The story finishes in a proper manner.
Yeah.
There's like all the tension that builds up, like the scene, the cinematography too. Like when Walt is going down through the hole to find the money, and it's a shot of him like just laughing like his ass off when he's down below the house, and it's just that shot through the hole. Oh my God, that's amazing. You
remember
I
that
am
one
the
episode?
danger. Like
I am the one who knocks.
He is
Yeah.
a satanic fucking anti-hero.
it was an
'cause he's-
incredible show.
The one
You
episode
can't
where
help
there
but
was
root
a
for him
fly.
even when he goes down the.
That was
him and
Ryan
Tony- him and
Johnson's
Tony Soprano
episode.
are the two
Ryan Johnson
best
shot that?
I think Ryan
anti-heroes
Johnson
in
shot that. I'm
television.
gonna look that up. I believe
Interesting.
Ryan Johnson
Vic
shot that
Mackey.
episode.
Wow.
What's that from?
The episode where there's a fly in the
Oh,
lab,
yeah,
and
I
the
have to check
entire
it out.
episode is just
And
Walter.
it's funny. I confuse the brother-in-law
Yeah.
in Breaking Bad with that guy.
Vic Mackey's basically Tony Soprano with a shield.
Directed by
with a badge.
The Fly was directed by Ryan Johnson.
Evil.
Wow.
That could be evil.
So
I just learned something.
you guys know the Fly episode where the Fly? It's like the most
Yeah,
controversial.
Oh, God.
Ryan Johnson directed that.
No shit.
Fuck
Yes.
Ryan Johnson.
Oh, that's funny.
Ryan Johnson directed that
He's,
episode.
Knives Out is great.
Amazing
Last
movie.
Jedi is the worst Star Wars
Yeah, I
movie
know.
of all
So now
time.
on
Go
to
fuck
you.
yourself.
Your
Should've
show.
done it.
What
Oh, yeah,
goes?
Joe, what do you
What
got?
goes, dude? I
What
already know.
goes?
I mean, there's no.
What
I know
goes?
what goes with Joe.
Well, it's not the fucking Sopranos.
I would,
the fucking best. Ain't no fucking way.
Fucking better believe
Listen,
it ain't the fucking
you can
Sopranos,
put that show
okay?
on, and when I'm fucking 60, and I'll fucking enjoy it.
I
and I'll
believe
love
it.
There's no other show that I go back to time and time again, and I don't think I've rewatched a single show or a single episode more than I've watched The Sopranos. It's unparalleled. So there's no way I could fucking even fathom to fucking eliminate that show. Game of Thrones is the greatest build-up to a show that ends and falls on its fucking face of all
tough.
time.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad starts fucking weird, ends great. It has a great finale.
Yep.
Every season is fucking solid. Every episode is fucking solid. I can't. This is tough. This is really fucking tough.
Yep.
For me, it has to go with like, what taste did it leave in your mouth? Or years later, what do you want to go back and watch? Because we've all watched every episode of all these shows every season. We've completed them multiple
once,
times.
yes.
Multiple times. So I can rewatch Sopranos anytime, any place, no matter what. Breaking Bad, if it's on, I'll watch it.
Yep.
I'm not going to stay as engaged as I would for The Sopranos, but I'll watch it. Game of Thrones, I'm only going to watch maybe the first couple of seasons.
First
And
couple of seasons
you're
are
saying.
way
They
better
are
than a lot of
amazing.
stuff.
This is why it's in my top. This is why this is that conversation. But you cannot undo the shit show that was the last fucking season. Let alone one fucking episode where it's this fucking color, this goddamn fucking table. You can't fucking see shit. Everybody's wearing a fucking Snake Eyes fucking mask. Game of Thrones.
You had a shitty TV.
I did not have a sheet. I have an LG. I have an LG C10 OLED. I have the best
If you have an
TV on the
OLED display,
market.
then it shouldn't have been too dark to see.
Throwing shade
Make
like
it
the
fun.
episode.
My TV sucks. You know my TV sucks.
Battle of Winterfell
You
was
gonna tell me it was my TV sucks?
the dimmest fucking episode of TV I've ever seen in my entire life. It was.
Well, it's
the whole
the
fucking
wrong
internet.
night.
The
it's
dimmest.
technically a battle in
It's
nighttime.
like watching Minutes.
so-
You could have a dark. You could have a dark show though, and you could still portray it, and you could
What the
still
fuck?
show it.
They
As,
filmed that in the middle of the night in the freezing fucking cold.
yeah, and I couldn't see
for
shit.
I don't give a
weeks.
fuck about
And
it.
you know
It
what?
was
But that's part of the plot.
That's
It's the
poor
long
fucking
night.
judgment.
It's a
It
fucking
was-
thunder. There's
no.
it's a snowstorm.
You still have to fucking watch it. It's a fucking show. It has to be
You could see it.
entertaining.
You could see it. I saw everything.
If it's trending on the internet, if it's trending online, it's known that it's too dark.
Oh,
or it's
yeah.
not good enough.
I can count the pixels instead of the Dothraki, like, you
All
know.
right, so we could go off, but so it sounds. I think
I'm gonna have to tie it up 1-1-1. Goodbye, Game of Thrones.
Okay.
All right,
Bastard.
Game of Thrones.
Sorry, sweet. I love
All
you.
right. All right.
Here we go. This is gonna be deciding because this is like
This
is
really
big
hinges.
now.
Yeah, this
is
hinges.
big.
Well, here's the thing, though, because if it's a 1-1-1 and you guys both pick 2, I think we need to call up someone and get a tiebreaker.
No, I don't
we have
trust
5 people in
anybody's
this fucking room.
opinion
There
outside
can't
of
fit
this
any more
room.
people in the break room.
So
down
we
here.
actually can't get. Is there a
We could
possibility
have a
this
tie.
vote ends in one staying? All 3 of them staying? Is that possible?
It's possible there's a tie here.
It's possible there's a tie between 2.
That means that you have to vote in the comments
I mean,
section.
yeah, we gotta leave it to the fans to choose. Rob, before you choose,
good
can
poll.
you?
No, no,
can
no,
you,
no,
uh,
no, no. No. He's got the fucking thing on the table. He's not taking out the Sopranos. I already know that.
Rob,
wouldn't do
before you
that to
choose,
me.
can you give us the Paulie quote to the 2 old ladies?
When I was a little boy, 2 was old ladies. Now I'm old. You're
still
old.
Rob, give me some sill before we go.
The respect team from the guys, they're being the representative. Oh man, fuck it! It really is like picking you like your kids, but
You have
only
no
one of them
kids.
disappointed me. Game of Thrones is dead,
Oh, quick!
That's it.
That was the fastest fucking answer I've ever seen in my fucking
and it hurts.
life.
You gotta rip that fucking Band-Aid.
Oh,
You can't,
shit.
Very
quick, very quick.
All, folks. Oh,
No.
boy.
Breaking Bad was phenomenal from beginning to end.
100%.
Sopranos, clearly
100%.
phenomenal from beginning to end.
100%.
Game of Thrones was arguably reached a higher point of
did.
phenomenal
It did.
at its peak,
It did.
and then fucking fell flat.
I think it
And
averages
that's
out
the
to be
only
better
reason.
Oh.
Because honestly, Game of Thrones would have been my number 1 pick
Oh.
if it didn't have that last season.
Yeah.
Even for the discussion we had before. And this is coming from somebody. I mean, this was our bonding time.
100%.
We all used to get together.
Yeah.
we'd get
Now this
food,
is our
we'd sit
bonding
down,
time, bro.
You
watch
can't get
it.
rid of
Room was that conversation.
Hey,
We were
here-
talking
Rob,
about the episode.
Rob, here's the thing: if you kill it, everything goes right. We never had those moments.
We didn't have those moments.
We never
then,
had those moments.
you know?
It's all gone.
That's okay.
Then we watched
it's okay.
Breaking Bad because you wouldn't have stopped watching that. But
there it
I
is.
I gotta get rid of Game of Thrones, and I'm sorry.
So that's
Ben.
what's the vote? What's the total?
1-1-2.
What's the tally?
1-2.
1-1-2.
1-1-2.
Well,
What are you going to do, Vin?
yeah,
What are you going to do?
Bases are loaded. Bottom of the 9th.
yeah, no, I feel like I'm going to disappoint somebody in this audience.
Get
here.
the breast stretcher, boy.
I got to be honest. So, Sopranos stays, first of all.
100%.
For all the reasons of the last 2 episodes we've done. and
Yeah.
We know it stays.
Yeah.
It's in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Shit. Sweet
Game
story.
of Thrones.
He's holding the fucking microphone so close right now. He's fucking shaking right now.
I got it ready.
He's got it fucking
I got it ready to disavow him.
It's weird. It's weird now, and I am rewatching Game of Thrones. I am in the middle of it, so I might be a little
JoJo,
biased.
the little Japanese words
Is
are
a-
flying
I
out.
might have a little.
Are you rewatching it with Sam?
Yeah.
And she's never seen it.
No, she saw it. She watched it all. It's funny.
I'm
Sam
gonna edit
jumped
that
in. She caught up when the last season was about to premiere, so she watched
Oh, yeah.
everything.
I remember-
That's a
That's
speed
how me
run.
and Sam
Yeah.
became friends. I remember
Wow.
talking about Game of Thrones and watching her journey as a fan,
right,
just
right.
like from.
It's always
Every
great
time
living
each thing
vicariously
happened.
through someone who sees it for
Hell
the first
yeah.
time. It makes you
Yeah.
rewatch the stuff that you.
She lived
Oh,
it
dude,
vitaliously.
vitaliously.
So no, I do that a lot, even with the Marvel movies. That'll happen. I've read the books.
Yeah.
I've listened to the books.
All right.
They die
I
too.
listened to
They
them
die
again.
too.
They die too. If you kill it.
I'm rewatching it now, and it's still great. It is phenomenal. I really, it's almost. I'm not bogged down by the ending right now, and I don't want to get rid of it. I don't. I want Sopranos. I want Game of Thrones. If I could go without watching Breaking Bad from now on. I would still revisit Game of Thrones. I would still want to enjoy the books. I still can't wait for the next book. So I am going to get rid of Breaking Bad.
Wow.
We have a tie then.
We do have a tie.
We have a tie.
That's tough.
Need
That's
to-
the first tie.
We need a tiebreaker.
No.
How do we determine this?
I kind of like leaving it at a split decision. I don't know.
No, we need a
think it's-
tiebreaker.
I don't trust any fuck to call up one of you guys to call up one of your friends. No.
Has
no.
your
We're not-
father?
we're not- we're not
We gotta
phoning.
leave it.
Has your
for
father
the, no.
watched all of them?
Yeah, my father has watched all of them. In fact, my
What?
father watched Game of Thrones when it came out because we started watching it together because we were both Lord of the Rings fans. And we both read those books like my dad read them in the 70s. And we watched the first episode together and we're like, oh, cool. It's, Sean Bean and shocked by all the shit. And I watched it with my parents before I started watching with my friends because I started Game of Thrones before we really started hanging out.
Yep.
You know what you got to do then?
Another thing is
Sopranos he watched when it was on. And Breaking Bad he got into because of me. So that would be tough.
You got to ask him. He's the tiebreaker.
like Game of Thrones as an animated show. That's my dream. I think.
Let's just say this. I mean, we pertain this conversation towards the TV show.
Yep.
You're also eliminating the books of Game of Thrones, what would be very, very tough to do.
Yep.
And you're kind of like foregoing anything that's forthcoming with that, whether it's an animated
If you want to go
series.
canon on our show, Game of Thrones never happened because we voted off Lord of the Rings.
It's true. This is also very true.
So
We don't have a lot of like Norse mythology or any kind of medieval shit on our show. We don't like that shit. We like fucking
I love
boombox
that
shit.
shit.
well, we're sitting in a room where it's a diverse room. I think
At
there's
the end
a lot
of the day,
people.
in terms of television series, out of the three, I would say that Sopranos and Breaking Bad were better shows from start to finish.
start to finish.
Yeah.
But
It's hard to argue. It's
It's hard to kind of side with
Because
sweet.
more production value went into Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. than
Right,
Sopranos,
right,
because Sopranos was shot
Right.
on location in Jersey.
It was
nothing
also
fantastic.
earlier. So also
There were
have
no
to
and I
create-
will say
there were no
mythical
battle
creatures.
scenes.
I don't think
of
the
hundreds
last,
of people
I don't
coordinated.
think the last season sucked. To me, it really boils down into that last 20 minutes of the show.
Even before the
When-
last episode, I felt like it was super rushed. That
No,
whole
you
season.
could
We
you
knew
could
it
feel
was
that.
going
You
to
could
be
feel that
rushed.
in the season prior and the last season.
Like
It
it's
was
all of a
there,
sudden all the
but I
characters
was-
we wanted to meet up. Now they're together.
No,
then there's a battle. Then everybody's gone. Then all of a sudden it's over. I'm like,
But at that time, I was giving it that chance, that opportunity to be great and end great. So I still wasn't hung up on this. Like, I wasn't so aware of it at the time. It was kind of lingering. Like, this feels kind of weird. Like like Daenerys went from the south to the north to the south in like one episode.
Yeah.
That's odd. Okay. I guess I didn't like them bringing the zombie to King's Landing. I really thought that the Army of the Dead should have got to King's Landing because then it shows why it's the ultimate threat versus like defeating it in the north and that. So we could go on, but it really didn't come to a head until that very last second, and they go, Bran has the best story. And
Oh,
you go,
God,
what
what?
the fuck? John has the best story.
By far.
John died and came back. I know Chris
100%.
has a lot to say, and I know we're going
It's
off on
George
this.
R.R. Martin's choice that Bran is the king, so John
But
is not the
here's
best
the
choice.
problem.
George R.R. Martin
He's
in the books,
missing-
Bran will be the king.
He's missing from a whole fucking
Doesn't
season.
matter. So is Davos.
Plot development.
So is Brienne of Tarth.
you won't be an
There's
old
plenty
man
of
in a tree. You'll
characters
just be a
that-
source of discontent.
Maybe I should just take Game of Thrones out of this
I
fucking
think
thing.
Whoa!
I think
Final answer?
I
do that.
I think
Absolutely
I think the council has come to a decision.
What are we?
No, it's bullshit. You cast your votes.
Hold on.
You cast your votes.
The votes have been casted.
Yes,
not taking it
but
back.
there's a tie.
There's no recount here. We're not going to recount it, but I will say that Sopranos was the least voted show, so that regardless has to
Makes
stay.
it
Sopranos
It's
Number
six.
one.
That's
But here's the
number
thing,
one.
man. Here's why I still just. If you're gonna compare Game of Thrones and Sopranos, Sopranos never had a fucking battle with hundreds of people and fucking horses.
you're
They had
talking
one
about-
horse that Tony rode in his fucking dream.
They had a bunch of
alright?
Italians and Native Americans.
You know
fighting
how
over
much
Columbus.
harder
Day.
of a
Better not be
show.
Columbus up
You
there.
should-
They didn't
You should
film
ask your dad. You
Sopranos
should ask him.
nor
He's
Breaking
a
Bad in
tiebreaker.
fucking Iceland or in a
not gonna be
fucking
able to get out of
freezing
here.
Arctic
I got a
tundra.
guy I can call up.
So
He's
if
an
you talk
impartial
about a
party.
feat of a
I
show,
could
Game
do
of
that.
Thrones just did way more.
We're
The
not-
world
we're
is
not-
way bigger.
This conversation isn't over, and I don't think we can end it here today. So I
No,
think
yeah, it's-
we will continue.
We're
this
not talking
conversation.
When the
about
show's
production
over, I'm
value,
going to
though,
ask my
Sweet.
father. He'll break the tie, and we'll add it in.
Yes.
I think you all watching should break
Like,
the
I
tie
think
for
it
us.
should be
Teleport.
the
Yeah, I
fans
would
in the
say throw it in the
comments.
See
comment
everyone-
section.
And
I
they'll
just
probably
don't
shit on
like
Game of
that.
Thrones.
We'll
so
throw
fuck them in advance.
We'll throw
But-
some.
I mean, I can run up that right now if you want.
Maybe they like him and they only
No,
watch
no,
anime
no,
all
trip over
day.
that cap.
No,
be.
fuck
Could
that.
be.
There's no point. I don't.
No.
I
I
don't
gotta-
see.
I'll
see-
run-
it's
I'll
not-
run-
it's
no,
not-
no,
it's
no,
not.
it doesn't-
We're not going to stop this conversation because
You know what's going to happen? My father's going to look at you like, I don't know. Not
Listen,
Sopranos.
I want a conclusion. I'm frothing at the
There's
mouth
no-
for a
that's-
decisive
no,
answer.
that's not
we're
the
gonna talk
proper-
about Game of Thrones probably every episode because we're constantly going to revisit it somehow.
Look, if you want to supercharge
And
Game
we're
of
gonna be
Thrones
talking about
Fire
the-
and
the,
Fury
uh,
episode one day, we
What
can
is
do
it?
the
Dance of
mega.
Dragons. I'm sorry, the new show.
Yeah.
House
House
of
of
the
Dragons.
We're
And
gonna
here's
get
the
there-
thing,
We're going
if
to
you-
get there again.
If you kill Game of Thrones, then you kill House of the Dragon, which is a show
even seen it.
that's going to be amazing. That's not even out yet.
I'm thinking this is to be continued.
It's to be
This
continued.
is tough. It was too tough.
We gotta
It was a
leave it
tough
here,
one.
That's
and you
three
know
tough.
what? That's all right.
That was it struck up a good conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point of the
I
whole
guess.
thing.
I guess though, technically, if it's a tie, they both technically should go. Then
So nobody gets snapped.
No.
Soprano stays.
One has to go.
You
That's
could
the name of
prevent the
show.
snap. I'm okay with preventing
Preventing
the
the
snap.
snap.
You can't prevent the
What
snap.
if we go around the room one more time?
No.
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 Wanna do that?
It's-
No.
No, 'cause
You're
we're not gonna
forcing
change
it.
our answers.
You're forcing it. That's what it is.
You have
it's
to
a
get
tie.
one more
change.
unbiased third
Chris is
party.
happy that Game of Thrones is
doesn't
not
want
I'm
going
pissed
to
off that Game of Thrones survives as a split decision.
Stop
I
the
think Game of
count!
Thrones deserves to live no matter what, but it's an impossible choice. I didn't want to choose Breaking Bad. I only chose it because of time proximity. So I mean, you know,
Also, Breaking Bad had commercials, so that was annoying.
yeah.
I watch it on the streaming service. I got look.
Oh yeah, I
I
didn't get
caught
into
up
Breaking Bad
right
until
as it ended. Like, I watched the last episode live, but like that was something that I jumped on like later. I didn't embrace it right away.
I really want to shift gears.
yeah.
I
What's
want to
shift
talk about
gears.
what's coming.
I want to
Talked
shift.
a lot about.
I want to shift gears, but I want an answer too. That's
We're not
the
gonna
thing.
have one.
I'm-
We're not gonna have
I feel like
It's
this
done.
feels like I've been edging for 3 hours and I've gotten no.
It's a
I'm
mistrial,
too close to you
bro.
to
It's
say
what
that's
it
just
is.
a-
Yeah,
Edging.
wait.
The
There
fuck
was
you
no
wanna-
answer. We have the answer, and it's a tie.
It's a mistrial.
In this room,
It's a mistrial.
A mistrial.
that's true. It'll come back again.
The jury
I know
can't
it.
decide.
We are not going to not talk about this.
So
over and
how
over.
about we all agree on this? Since we had a Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones tie, at some point in a future episode, we'll throw those two back into the mix and add a third one in there. And it won't be The Sopranos because that's already stuck and that stays.
Yeah, we
So
gilded.
So we'll give them one more chance to go or stay.
Okay.
I
For
like that.
now,
Yeah.
for now we're settled.
To be continued.
That's fair.
However,
These shoes.
yeah, we should just throw the two against each other.
Oh.
No, damn it! Stop trying to force the issue. It's over.
Well, that's the only fair way to do it,
I don't want
though.
to spend 10 more minutes.
Because if-
on
Yeah,
that.
we already spoke
If-
about it too long. There's people that don't give a shit about.
But if you put a
E3 of these
third party
shows.
in there, you're tarnishing the finale of it. Because
don't
then you
think
get a
so.
third competitor. If you go 2-2, then you have to get a final
Zach has
result.
to have something to edit. That's why he just wants that accent.
Listen,
I think
all
we're
I'm
ready for our
saying,
next
the vote.
segment.
I mean,
all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, I think we should do again in a later episode Breaking Bad
agree.
versus
I
Game of
agree.
Thrones.
I agree.
No third party, just the two of them.
All right.
I'll
Mono
rewatch.
a
I'll
mono.
rewatch both.
Mono a
fucking
mono.
things
But
then,
that's
'cause
just
I'm-
bringing us back to the same thing, except later. No, it's got to be those two and a third. That's just. But you know what? No matter what, I think we spent enough
He
time
just
on
doesn't
this
want
topic.
Game of Thrones.
I don't want Game of Thrones to
Already had to
die.
kiss Lord of the Rings.
No,
on the
I
bike.
think
I didn't even watch that, so it doesn't even matter.
I think we just what else we got?
Well, I mean, hey, I was thinking of shifting gears. I was thinking about the future.
Yeah. What's next?
Today was a big day about the future because it was Disney Plus Day. I didn't even know that until I woke up.
Right.
But they announced at least, I don't know, 30 new pieces of content coming to Disney Plus.
Which is why it's the best streaming service.
It's why you got to keep the streaming service. You have all of the Marvel content, Star Wars content, Pixar, and on top of everything else.
For $7 a month.
Now, this is a room where we've all agreed, and I think the poster on the wall over there shows this is a Star Wars kind of show, right?
I would say so.
Yeah.
There's nothing I would put over Star Wars at all
Ever.
in this basement. Nothing.
Now, we don't have the teaser yet, but we have the teaser for the teaser for Obi-Wan
The
Kenobi.
shirt before the shirt.
Yeah.
And I think we should take a quick look at it
Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's a name
quick
I have
watch.
not heard.
and see what we think.
We should. Yeah.
Because I'm
Check it
hyped.
out.
I'm hyped. This is
I
gonna
haven't
be
seen
cool.
it yet, so I've been waiting.
Zach
for
has
this.
not even seen it
Zach
yet. This
has
is going to
not.
be
I haven't
pure
seen it.
reaction.
I've been waiting. I've been
Chris has
waiting.
not seen it.
Roll
It's going to be
it.
pure reaction.
Are we pulling it up on the thing?
Let's roll.
So that looks really cool.
Oh
Fucking
my God.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And you know, going back now, Mandalorian's got to be on the top of my list of TV shows of all time.
Oh my god.
Hell yes. Hell
Top-
yes.
'Cause you know what?
It is up
Mandalorian
there,
has its Old West and its Star Wars in one thing, and
Well,
I
that's
love
like,
both of
that's
those
the
things.
charm that made like characters like Boba Fett and Han Solo so cool. 'Cause
Yeah.
they were like those. It's like the almost the East meets West because you got the samurai and the Jedi, but then you've got like the gunslingers and Han Solo and they
Hell
all
yeah.
mesh in this space world, and I think that's really what drew people into the Star Wars. You know, right from the
Mandalorian is
beginning.
one of the best things I've seen on television in probably 10 to 15
And much
years.
like the
Easily.
Marvel
And
Cinematic
it-
Universe, it starts as something really grounded. It's a, it's a young farmer,
Yeah.
on a planet kind of stuck in his life, and
there's a reason why the audience feels so intense has intense feelings for Mandalorian, and it's because the people making it give a shit about it. It's not a moneymaker thing. It's not.
Obi-Wan
Hey,
Filoni, your only hope.
Dave Filoni.
I have the high ground, Anakin. Don't try it. You underestimate my power.
Dave Filoni is.
He's the true disciple of the Force.
He's George.
The one that studied directly under George Lucas, and he got hired because he was a fan and a good listener. You know, everybody that George Lucas tried to hire for when he was creating the Clone Wars series. You know, they probably had like their input, and this should happen, that should happen. Dave Filoni just went in the room and listened to George talk.
I'll go on the record.
George, he went to the next room, and George was like, "I like him." You know, like. He's hired.
I would say this on the record that The Mandalorian is probably one of the first things that Star Wars has introduced in probably years. Not the prequels, not the sequels. The Mandalorian actually spawned new Star Wars fans.
Yes. The best Star Wars since 1983.
Absolutely. There's people that we work with that don't watch Star Wars, have never seen them, but they love The Mandalorian. So I think off of that alone, I think a lot more people are going to tune in.
Well, what do we got coming now? We got the Book of Boba.
Book of Boba, December 29th.
We have
Mandalorian Season 3, Kenobi, Ahsoka, what the fuck?
Ahsoka's getting her own show?
Yeah. And Aiden Christensen's in it.
Yep. And they didn't even, I don't even know if they teased some of that stuff.
I love Rosario.
They just announced that Aiden Christensen will be in Ahsoka.
Absolutely.
It'll be interesting if they introduce Ezra and those characters.
Yeah.
Grand Admiral Thrawn is coming.
If you watched Clone Wars and you watched Rebels, there is a lot because Filoni was integral in those two cartoons. That's why Mando was chosen, because in Clone Wars, the Mandalorians, Mandalore, the planet is a big focus of that whole show.
Andor, that's another one.
Really makes sense why they would do
Cassian Andor from Rogue One.
Oh,
he's getting his show with
that's cool.
K2SO. I think
weren't they doing like a Rogue Squadron or
that's a movie that got delayed.
Indefinitely delayed. It actually, I just read Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron is indefinitely delayed.
No. I'm talking about the one that was supposed to have what's her name, Gina Carano, but she's
Gina
gone.
Carano.
Yeah, whatever. She's gone now. Wasn't there supposed to be a show like Rangers of the something?
Oh, Rangers of the Republic. That's it.
Is that dead now?
Yeah, it's gone.
They don't put Gina Carano in the third season. I'm gonna be pissed.
They're not gonna. So
they
I
won't.
hate to say she's blacklisted for a moment.
The movies as well. Because the movies are gonna be interesting because there's a Old Republic movie that's coming out.
Real quick, like. The movies, and I felt this way while they were doing the newest movies, was it's a real mistake to touch the Skywalker saga.
Absolutely.
It's the gilded, golden, it's like they're in the Bible.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't do stories with them. If you want to do stories that are around that saga, sure.
Yeah.
But you need to leave that alone now.
That's what The Mandalorian did perfectly, was
Exactly.
it introduced the Skywalkers, but they're like, as they are like, the golden boys of the galaxy.
Yes.
And then they got their cameo. Luke got his cameo and he left. And that was like my god.
It was more than a cameo. It was a rebirth of everything that you wanted to see.
Yes, but it's
I was surprised that they used Mark Hamill for that scene.
Yes.
Because
he was excited to come back. That's a great featurette on Disney Plus. If you look at
it was good.
The making of the finale of season 2.
The concept of the Skywalkers, though, in The Mandalorian is that they don't elaborate on the story anymore. They just bring Luke, show him being a badass, how he should be portrayed at that point.
See him.
So I want to argue that point though, just because. Well, no, but I mean, I think Rob is going to agree with me and back me up on this, and maybe even Zach, but. You can say that you can't touch those characters, and I understand why, because with the TV it's been bad. But then there's these books that they wrote that are non-canon now that include all of these characters that further extend their story.
Timothy Zahn's original trilogy.
Yes.
Now,
if
imagine they were able to adapt that into film form and it was phenomenal, then we wouldn't make that argument.
Trilogy.
That
took
those
place
stories
10 years after Return of the Jedi.
Right.
But the problem was Harrison Ford didn't want to do it. Carrie Fisher was dealing with mental health issues, and Mark Hamill was launching his voice acting career, and that's why we didn't get those movies.
The problem, though, is that That is canonically to me. That is the Skywalker saga and how it should have been. You get
Mara Jade,
Mara
Jason
Jade.
and Jaina Solo. None of that was
in my mind's eye. It's
it was actual Ben Solo. Was
Ben
this
Solo.
his story
Solo.
was phenomenal and trying to find Mara Jade and all that. Like there are so many good
Non-canon.
actual Skywalker elaboration
Heir to the
stories.
Empire,
I
Dark
think
Force Rising, and the Last Command.
Absolutely.
I really
Yes.
And then
The
you get
other
Grand Admiral
problem-
Thrawn, who's a new villain entirely, and he just nailed it. It was
somebody
phenomenal.
that's like as calculating, if not more, than the Emperor himself.
Yeah.
Right.
And it created another fear in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And he basically takes over the Empire, and you're dealing with stuff like a mad Jedi who survived the Order 66.
He was
before
great.
Order 66.
What was that guy's name again?
Saboeth or something like that. I don't know what the pronunciation
Sabayoff.
is.
So I think what the
Sabayoff.
I read the
problem
book.
that Disney had initially was they didn't have the brain trust. They didn't have like the Marvel Feige
George
kind
Lucas.
of someone leading it. And for George, it was actually George's kind of mistake when he sold off the franchise. He didn't have things ready. He did write up treatments and handed them over, but he did that in a rush to try to up the sale price.
Yeah.
Because when Disney had bought Pixar had a lot of stuff in the pipe, so they were worth $8 billion.
Still blows
George
my mind
Luke-
that he sold Star Wars.
George Lucas, well, he doesn't have the energy. I think now he's in a better position to kind of be that guiding presence and that person you could talk to, or Filoni can pick up the phone and be like, hey, George, this and that, without needing to be the director, the writer, the producer. The guy's what, 70?
And I'm sure creating these trilogies has to be exhausting. And the
Yeah.
manpower
Let
that
me-
Disney
You need
was
to
able
pass
throw
that
at
Let
it.
me ask you this: do you think all the backlash that he got from the prequels is the reason why he just didn't want to do anything else anymore?
No.
No, because I think honestly that George Lucas
It would
did what he
affect
did
me.
because he
about
wanted
it.
to.
Yeah.
He didn't have to make those movies. He made the decision back in the 80s
Yeah, it was going to be
that he was going to make three
three and
movies to
done.
come before, three
Right.
movies to come after. But I think that he just got tired of it. And he realized that Disney was the only company that was going to be able to keep his vision moving forward for generations to come. Because I think George Lucas realizes that Star Wars is going to long outlive him.
absolutely.
And
It's out of his hands.
It's honestly, even with the flubs that they've had, Star Wars is in the best hands it could be in.
Yeah, I agree.
Financially, as far as
With the creative team.
Disney is the only
Ax-
company that does licensing and merchandising as big as Star Wars.
Look at
has
the
always
access
done.
to the directors you have. You have tried and true directors who have done Marvel large scale movies. So you can bring in a Taika Waititi. You can bring in James Gunn. Taika's already listed to do a Star Wars
He's already
movie. so-
started one, I think.
But just to kind of bring it back to where we started here, Kenobi, what would be the thing you're looking for the most out of that show? What's maybe a moment or a scene or an interaction? Can you think of something that you would really look forward to in that show?
It'd be interesting to see if they overlap already canon sequences, because Obi-Wan does fight Maul and defeats Maul finally in the desert.
He brought that up.
Yeah.
The only reason
I think that would be really cool to see.
I just have pushback against
That'll
that.
come up, I think.
The only reason I would push back against it is the age. First, they've already shown it. There's no reason to show it twice. It's already canon. You don't need to redo the sequence. We know what it looks like. We've seen that.
But this is also
he's
the
also
only
in an,
tidbit
he's
that we
also in
know
an
of.
advanced age. That was in not Clone Wars, but that was in Rebels.
Rebels.
In Rebels, that's where Obi-Wan is in his
And
advanced
it could
look.
be,
He doesn't look
it could
like
honestly
Ewan
be at the
McGregor.
end of the show, like when they're
Yeah.
going to end the series. It could be one of the last episodes. I will be fine with that if that's the last episode.
Because
I don't need to re-see that.
We're talking about like the start of the show. The start of the show is going to take off of after Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
Where he just kind of hands off.
It's going to be
Luke.
interesting.
That's what I mean. It's
He
not
hands
going
off
It's
to
going to be
Luke
interesting to see
Uncle
him
Owen
like
and
have to
Aunt
deal
Beru
with
and-
Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be like interactions with
he's
that.
on Tatooine.
Right.
So he's going to
Right.
be
He's gonna
in
see-
the mix. He's right down the road
There's a
from,
lot of
what does
what
he
ifs,
call
like,
it? Wait,
well-
give me the line. I need the line. Scum and villainy, dude.
Most Isley Spaceport. You will never find a more wrenched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
So I'm looking for some Obi-Wan down at the cantina. I feel like that'll be a
100%.
scene
Yeah, it's going to
somewhere
be
in there.
super. It'll be, and I doubt that it will happen, but it'd be interesting if Obi-Wan is forced to go off-world to like circumvent things that could be trying to come to Tatooine.
Yes.
It will be interesting to know how he was able to mask
hidden.
Luke's presence.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
has to be some kind of way, maybe like a dark force trinket or something that could like block
Well,
Luke's light force? Because I mean, let's face it, he's the son of Anakin Skywalker.
What you see in the trailer, though, is that
midichlorian count of any Jedi that ever lived at that time.
He's fighting Vader on a lava planet, so you would have to assume he's
Which
probably
that would
going
be
to leave
Mustafar,
Tatooine.
because that's where Vader's castle is.
Yeah, he probably goes to Mustafar to probably take the heat
And
off.
I believe
trailer,
Vader's castle is actually canon.
They're
now.
clearly, with the return of Hayden Christensen, they're not looking to hide this. They are going to bring Vader into this, and there will be a sequence.
There was even a fun little in What If you watch What If, they were fighting through realities, and I think one of the realities they go through is Mustafar, where Vader's castle is.
Do we get to see like a young Luke, or is Luke just a baby the first season? Is there going to be a second season?
They showed him as a baby.
As a baby, but like if this thing like takes off and there's multiple seasons of this show, you're going to ultimately start where he drops off Luke, and then where he kind of lets off, and how A New Hope starts.
I've heard this is kind of like a Loki situation where it's going to be one off, and that's it. This is all we're getting.
I hope
from
that's
Obi-Wan.
all it is. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't necessarily
You say that, but
until the money rolls in. Usually, what they're really good at is, especially with main characters like Obi-Wan, is possibly bringing in a secondary character. So Ahsoka or somebody may come in, and
do
then
we
they'll
see
pick
the Emperor though? That's my other question.
Oh
No.
my
I would
God.
imagine.
Well,
No, I don't think so.
How do you not see the Emperor?
his
Well, if they're gonna
presence,
show
I think the presence of the Empire. I think,
if they're
I
going to
don't know
show
about
Darth
seeing
Vader,
him.
they have to show the
They
Emperor.
have to.
You'll probably see him in a hologram, but you won't actually see the Emperor.
Okay.
You'll probably see. I
Well,
think
yeah,
you'll see
he's
the
in his
hood.
ivory tower running the galaxy.
Yeah.
Infant Luke doesn't exist to him. Like he doesn't know that
nothing
happens,
about him.
so.
You know what I want to see? I want to see
Chris.
how he learns to do the Tusken Raider or the Sand People scream. And he's like when he
I think he
saves
uses
Luke,
the
and he's just
Force
like, I
I'm
can't do
very
it.
curious to see
His
if
dynamics
they
with the
bring in
Sand People.
Qui-Gon. That's my question.
I think he will.
Are
He'll
we
probably
gonna
be a
have
Force
some-
ghost because that's
Yeah.
where they
Yeah.
left off with Episode 3. Is like training. I have.
I want to see that, and I want to see the Clone Wars Anakin. I want to see
There'll be flashbacks of
the
it.
better.
100%.
I'd love to
more
see
badass.
Yoda on Dagobah.
some little Force. Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I would say.
Well, I want to see the. I think what's interesting about this too is that this is actually like the beginning of the Empire. So I think it'll be exciting to see the actual build up of what the Empire from the beginning to like where it's going to end up. Because this is like the boom of the Empire. So it's like
it's at the height.
how does that like? Is there going to be Imperial propaganda? Is there going to be like? Are there going to be like recruiting centers on Tatooine? Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
well, I'm excited to see all this kind of play out because
What does
this
propaganda
is
look like in the middle of a desert?
posters.
Some of the
Posters,
nitty gritty.
yeah.
And it depends how deep they want to go. They can
Yeah.
talk about Bail Organa on
Yeah.
Alderaan and show
yeah.
Alderaan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like infant Leia, all that
I
stuff.
do hope for something focused.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
yeah,
Obi-Wan.
It's called Obi-Wan
But these
Kenobi.
are all like
Yeah, I think
episodes
it'll
that,
be laser
like, it doesn't have to
focused.
be focused on that, but like touching on that stuff because I'm sure he had.
But
to
you
be in
never
contact
expected
with
to
Bail
see
Organa.
Luke in The Mandalorian because it was
That-
nothing
Yeah.
that pertains to anything like that. So, yeah, it could be called Obi-Wan Kenobi, but there's so many ways that this can kind of spawn
I think
into something
Ahsoka's
else.
coming into this
Right.
because they're spawning a show
In the-
and her proximity to Anakin. I think it just it breeds that she knew Obi-Wan. You know what I mean? They all knew each other in the
Yeah,
Clone
there's
Wars.
a-
Obi-Wan
So
Kenobi.
at some
That's a
point, I
name
want to
have
see that
not heard.
conversation because I think there's a lot to be said between Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, and we just never got any more of that since
In the first shot of the concept art there, it looked like there was an Inquisitor there though, like the like this, the Seventh Sister or whatever. They're the sabers.
Why the fuck do they hide Luke and still call him Luke Skywalker? Like, why the fuck
I never
wouldn't they?
understood that shit. He
but
becomes,
here's-
and then Ben Kenobi. It's the same fucking last name.
This is what I came up with
I
to
don't
explain
know.
it away was that isn't Luke technically the son of the Shmi and the other guy? You know what I mean? Because that's Shmi Skywalker. That's her name. So any descendant of her.
But he was
is
Lars. The husband was Lars. and that's why
Klieg
it's
Lars.
Owen Lars.
Klieg Lars.
That's true. Yeah. So it
Uncle
doesn't.
Owen.
That's like
It's
the Lars
that would be a
homestead.
weird little canon
So-
disconnect. Like,
Was
how
he
much you
known
hiding
as
him when
Luke
you're
Yeah, but they
Lars?
knew
Luke
Shmi,
Skywalker.
so his name being Skywalker wasn't out of the realm, Because a lot of people didn't realize that Anakin Skywalker was Darth
Darth
Vader.
Vader. That's very true.
So it could have been
died.
that Anakin died during the Clone Wars, and that's probably the story that the Lars went with, and that's why Skywalker lives there. It's like the grandson of Shmi had to come live with the Lars.
Basically, Darth Vader was just never looking for his children.
Even in the non-canon
and he was
stuff,
never going to go back to Tatooine.
Yeah, he would never go to Tatooine. That's a good. That's another.
Even
good
in
one.
the non-canon
There's no
stuff,
reason to look.
he's,
So maybe
it was such a.
But if the Grand Inquisitor, if there's all this fucking, this hunt for Luke, or maybe not a hunt for Luke, that's not who they're hunting. They're technically hunting Jedi.
Yeah, it's Jedi.
So
based on that
but I always
story,
thought that
though,
was a funny little
like
disconnect.
as if like the prequels were made first, it would be interesting that Darth Vader didn't go back to Tatooine and free the slave system.
I think we're driving at something that would make Obi-Wan leave Tatooine to go confront Vader, so he doesn't come to Tatooine.
Exactly.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean, I think
exactly.
Make a distraction elsewhere.
Uncovering this through our conversation.
Put the heat.
Super cool.
Put the heat on Mustafar.
Even
so much possibility.
I want to say, even in the canon
Can't wait
books,
for more Star Wars. It's really
Book of Boba is kicking off. Next
kicking
year is
ass.
going to be a Star Wars year. This year was like a Marvel year. So I think Disney's doing the smart thing with alternating in a way, so they're not, there isn't too much saturation.
Book of Boba Fett this year.
That's what I'm saying. Book of Boba December is the kicking off of what will be the year of Star Wars, I think.
Can't wait.
Cool.
The year of the Break Room podcast.
I was just gonna say, even in the now canon books that do have Thrawn in them, I forget what they're called. But
I think it's called Thrawn, the first one.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 of them, and they're canon now, and they show dynamics between Thrawn and Anakin, and then another timeline of Thrawn and Vader, and they do not know that Vader was Anakin. As far as Thrawn is a genius, so he kind of
As a hint of
because he knew both of them. And he sees similarities, and Thrawn's a genius. But, they didn't know that they were the same person. And when Vader refers to Anakin Skywalker, because Thrawn presses the issue, it'd be like, oh, I knew Anakin Skywalker. And Vader is pretty much like, the Jedi is dead. He's dead. So he refers to him as a different entity entirely.
And he's mentally killing Anakin as well. He's
shall be
removing Anakin
known
from his
as
personality
Darth
as he further goes to the dark side.
In fact, and that's what makes the impact of the I Am Your Father scene more important, because that's the first time, like since his turn, that he acknowledged that Anakin Skywalker is a part of him, because Anakin Skywalker is the father of Luke Skywalker.
Rob, I have a question for you. I never thought to ask this, but where the fuck does the last name Skywalker even come from? Because Anakin's dad technically doesn't exist as far as they know. Shmi just decided I like Skywalker and named him Luke Skywalker.
I'm sure that she had parents at some point, but don't forget, Shmi comes from another planet. Yeah. And she was bought as a slave. With Anakin as an infant.
Well,
they came from another place, and they even reference being won in a game, by Watto from one of the huts or something.
Have you seen my chance cube?
Is Anakin born of the Force through
Palpatine?
It's assumed that Palpatine's
Palpatine's master.
Oh, Plagueis.
Plagueis. It's assumed that one or the other.
Been canon, but
it's implied.
He's like basically created through the Force, and he's supposed to fulfill a prophecy, like an ancient Jedi prophecy, that a child will be born of the Force and will create balance. And technically speaking, Anakin did create balance in the Force, because
Jedi ruled
an equal Jedi and Sith ratio in the galaxy. And
which then would bring us to Grey Jedi conversation, who Ahsoka is. But
the Skywalker name too, because that's what you described as the canon, like the universe explanation. The actual reasoning for Skywalker is that originally Lucas had said that it was supposed to be named Luke Starkiller, and it couldn't use Starkiller, but Skywalker was the interpretation.
Which is why they created Starkiller Base for the movies as a shout
as the
out
callback. But I mean, there's so much lore from the extended universe too that I want to see, like the Old Republic.
And I love looking at like some of the old original Macquarie stuff.
Yeah, stories of Exar Kun and the original Sith race, not the Sith like organization, the race, like the people.
Not the religion.
And the rule.
You guys ever read? It's not canon anymore, but I know there was a Nintendo 64 game. You probably have it.
Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire.
It's
Prince
back
Caesar.
there.
It's back there. Another game that fucking nobody beats the Wiz charged $80 for. But anyway, the canon in that was great, and a lot of the canon in that, like IG-88, Rendar, Prince shoes, or they use some of that in the Mandalorian.
I got the action
Yeah.
figures.
I would say Disney's done a smart thing where they said like, they removed the whatever extended universe, but they made it its own thing.
Yeah.
So now they can cherry pick.
They're
from
bringing
it.
Thrawn
So
in.
I feel like you'll see those themes of Shadow of the Empire in there.
That's the most important thing for me is seeing Thrawn. I love Grand Admiral Thrawn.
There we go.
Hey.
Wow.
Thumbnail.
Bada bing.
I want to see Mara Jade, because Mara Jade is one of the most complex characters from the extended universe, and also probably one of the coolest because she's
Thank you, Timothy Zahn.
the Jedi who turns bad, but is still not kind of bad. But she's fucking badass anywhere she is.
She was the hand of the Emperor.
Yeah, and then like just
The fist
switches.
of the Emperor, actually.
Yeah, her lightsaber
She was like an
is-
assassin that was privately trained by
Liquid
the
metal.
Emperor in the dark arts.
She has the coolest lightsaber.
And the reason
too.
why she's forced to like converse with Luke instead of just immediately killing him is that they're trapped in a situation where the Force is being blocked and they have to work together to survive in this, atmosphere.
That's
Great book.
That's how they.
And,
fall
What book
in
is that,
love.
Rob? Tell
that
the
was
people.
Heir to the Empire.
Heir to the Empire.
Yeah.
Phenomenal
Phenomenal book.
And I recommend the audio book too. It's narrated. I forget the
Heir
guy.
to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command. And then he wrote 2 books after
that. Yep.
which is Spectre of the Past and Vision of the Future.
Both great.
Okay.
And I think
I
it's
gotta
Mark
watch this and
Thompson.
reading list.
Mark Thompson narrates the audiobooks. Phenomenal. He does a great job. Like he nails everybody's voice. Luke, Lando, Han, everybody's voice he can do exactly. He's perfect. So if you want like a very entertaining piece of media to listen to, there it is, Heir to the Empire.
I might listen to it again.
Probably
I
gonna-
read those
so-
back in
Yeah,
high school.
I probably got
They were
to.
really
I
good.
need an audiobook to listen
Like
to.
I remember
So
being
good.
like riveted reading these books. I powered through them. I read
Now
them
that you
pretty
say
quick.
that, I think I have like 4 Audible credits I have to use.
Use it on those. I'm telling you,
swear.
because they also add sound effects like lightsabers and stuff. Like it feels like you're watching it without needing to watch it.
No, side piece though, I love how in the first Star Wars, C-3PO's like, I'm not very good at telling stories. And then Return of the Jedi, he fucking recreates all of Star Wars for the Ewoks, sound effects and everything.
Right.
I'm like, come on, man.
I think
Comedy.
this is an interesting question I want to bring on the
Hooch
table
Vader.
to everyone.
Uh-oh. We're going another hour here now?
No. This
Jesus.
is 1, not 3. 1.
Oh.
Who is your favorite Star Wars? Who would be your Star Wars wife? Who's your favorite Star Wars female or Jedi? Or
I feel like I don't know.
has to be a female character specifically because there are so many good female characters.
Princess Leia, hands down.
Yeah,
Okay.
dude. Yeah.
Princess Leia.
I mean, how could you not go against Slave Leia? I mean, that's everybody's Star
And
Wars.
then even
Return of the Jedi,
besides that, the fact that
Poor
that
girl,
woman
her whole life.
ran the entire rebellion on her own shoulders.
Okay.
After losing everybody, I mean, Princess Leia lost.
Yeah.
Like people
everything.
don't realize she lost her parents and her entire home
Whole
world.
fucking planet.
She lost her husband. She lost her son to the dark side. She lost her brother. She lost everything, and she still drove forward.
Is that the kind
She
of
is
woman
one
you
of-
want as a
she
wife,
is
though?
not
That
only
is
one of
just
my favorite
followed
Star
by
Wars
misfortune.
characters. She is one of the strongest characters in movie history.
By far.
Okay, all right, that's respectable.
And female
so that's your
leads were
choice,
not
Rob?
popular
So Leia.
as well.
So Leia for you.
Princess Leia.
What about you, Vin?
Man, I don't have like a good base of knowledge. I feel like to answer this
You
properly.
got Leia. You've got
Ahsoka.
You've got Rey.
Princess Amidala and all
Nobody's
that. So,
Sorry, Daisy Ridley.
Padme. I'm just throwing
Rey.
names out there.
See, I'm go-
Padme. Yep.
What do you? What's your
Finster.
pick, Vin?
Jesus. I'm gonna say Ahsoka,
Okay,
just because
cool.
right now, like being such a badass lead. I
Yeah.
also love that she doesn't subscribe to the
Indoctrinations,
the dogmatic themes of the
Yeah.
Jedi. She really tries to find the Force in her own way.
Yeah.
So I think I would go with Ahsoka for my female.
Would you be a great Jedi, Vin?
A gray Jedi?
Yeah.
Definitely, because I don't have I make decisions for myself. I don't really let.
I
dogmatic
Vin wants to
thinking.
use the Force and have sex.
see. I always
Which
play a
raises the
great Jedi.
question, though. She's a Twi'lek. She's got tentacles on her head.
Oh my God,
Are
where's
you
this
really-
episode
you
going?
really gonna
Oh
be?
my God.
All right,
Perfectly
hey.
fine with that.
So that's right. So you're okay
Some
with
people
tentacles?
like hentai.
You don't have to be.
Different strokes for different folks, you know. Whether
All right,
it's with the
we
pen
did
or
way
with
too
the-
many strokes in this fucking episode. Let's cut that shit out.
Sweet. Who's your female lead or star from Star Wars? You have so many options to choose from.
I feel like there's not enough options, truth be told. You know, I feel like there's not a lot of strong characters in Star Wars, truth be told. I mean, but I'm going with Rey. Yeah, I'm going with Rey.
Wow.
First of all, she's got the blood.
Oh my
She's got Palpatine blood.
Wheelhouse.
She's got Palpatine.
Stupid as shit. What the fuck is she a Palpatine?
She's the Palpatine. Like it or
What were
not,
they smoking?
like it or not, she's a
been a
Palpatine.
I
She
can't.
should have been a Kenobi.
I mean,
Been the obvious choice.
I don't know what's worse. Him playing Battlefield over Call of Duty or picking Rey over any other fucking
It depends
female.
on
gotta
the
respect
generation.
decisions.
My God. I mean, I respect it.
I'm
but-
surprised that was a
Holy shit.
controversial topic because I think most people agree that Battlefield is a better game series than Call of Duty.
No.
And Call of
Well,
Duty
what
comes
do you
out
say
every
most
year.
people?
Any
What?
game that comes out yearly
Rey is a
bullshit.
fucking Mary Sue. I'm gonna
Oh.
say. She had it way too goddamn easy.
She
100%.
fucking grew up in the desert fighting people with
Yeah,
sticks.
just like Luke Skywalker. And Luke Skywalker took 3 fucking movies to learn the
Luke
goddamn
Skywalker at
Force.
least had
All of
an
a sudden,
aunt
she's
and uncle.
twirling around with all
Oh,
this shit. Get
he's
the
preaching.
fuck out of here.
Well,
The
she-
first
don't
fucking
blame-
scene, she can force pull anything. She can fucking
No,
do
I
a
don't wanna
Jedi
hear
mind
it.
trick.
Don't blame
That
her.
fucking movie sucked.
Don't
Fuck all that
blame,
shit.
don't
talking
blame
about-
her for shitty writing.
You're
It's
talking
not
about
her fault.
Yeah.
I don't blame Daisy Ridley in any way, and I don't blame.
We're not
any of the
talking about
people
the
that were
actress, we're
involved in
talking
those
about the
movies.
character.
I think that those movies were written.
We're
for
talking about the
fucking
character. Vin chose somebody with fucking tentacles on their head.
What's
wrong
wrong
with
with
that?
What's wrong with
Well,
tentacles
all right,
on
if
your
you're
head?
willing to fuck someone with tentacles on their head, be my guest.
I'll fuck
But
you. You put tentacles on your
Ray,
head right now.
first of all, is a human. Let me make my case. Ray is a human. All right.
Fuck is this? This is Star Wars.
Let
you
me fucking say
goof.
my goddamn piece.
You already
cocksucker.
said you don't like
No, I
fucking
didn't.
tentacles.
Listen,
You don't like fucking
that's
Zelda.
not my
You never
primary
played it.
reason. That's the only thing you let me
What about the
say.
female Greedo with Jabba's
Fucking guy. Well, Chris can't fuck Ahsoka because she's not a girl, so she doesn't play fucking zombie
Listen,
video games.
let me say my
Holy
point. Let me
shit.
say my piece. She's got the blood.
Now we're never gonna get any fucking females to watch this
He's gonna
fucking show.
fuck Nice
you
Noodles
guys-
over
you
there
guys
in the
have
back. Max
solidified
Rebo
that.
dance.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we started this.
Nice
episode
Noodles.
off with
Imagine
the
that's somebody's favorite female character.
I mean, what?
So, Chris says Ray.
She's got the bloodline of Palpatine. She's got the name of Skywalker. She's got impeccable skills. She, I think there's still a lot more.
All right,
you
so
know,
this is Ray.
Put way too much
It's
thought
Ray.
into this.
You know what I mean?
This
Get
is
the
an easy
bloodline.
one for me. For me, it's Bastila, the OG.
You're gonna have to explain that.
Bastila is the, I guess one of the main characters from Knights of the Old Republic. Bastila is the OG Grey Jedi. Bastila, so Bastila is the girl from Knights of the Old Republic she's the first like dual-bladed saber. Yeah, I think even before Maul, she had.
I think
She's in Coach.
She introduced the dual-bladed lightsaber, and it was a yellow one, which is fucking sick. It's my favorite color for lightsabers.
In yellow blades or
Yeah.
I forgot what the
Yellow is
they can pass through the lightsabers, right?
what?
What
yellow
their thing
can-
is.
or white. I forgot what-
Yellow is usually for temple guards, but it's also for like Jedi sentinels and like people usually balance related to balance. But Bastila was interesting because she was the OG Great Jedi, where like Ahsoka, she questioned the teachings of she was in the beginning of the game. She's very much like, well, I'm a Jedi and I have to follow the Jedi code. And then as you're going through the game and she's interacting with people from different worlds and realizing that the galaxy is much bigger than the Jedi Council, she's like, wait a second, this is weird. Something's like, this is wrong. I don't know if I should do this. And you see throughout the game, she gives into these like dark side like impulses that are like just human. Like it's not even like a weird thing. It's just like, oh no, I shouldn't do that. That's against the Jedi code, but I need to do that. And it's like that kind of dynamic throughout the entire game is a very human thing to see. And it's seeing her battle with that. And then there's, depending on the paths you go down, she can turn to the dark side. And when she does, you have to fight her on the Star Forge, and like that battle is like.
I can't wait for this remake. So.
And there's a potential where she could stay the dark side and you have to kill her, or you could turn, and if you did the right things, you could turn her back and you fight the final battle with her. And it's like she's a very realistic character. Like she is
No tentacles.
relatable.
no tentacles, unfortunately. She's also her suit, she wears a bodysuit, so tight fit and
just
figure.
bodies.
Just bodies. So Bastila's first
pavement
appearance
was his
technically isn't like a slave, like the slave suit like
right.
Leia had, and because the way you meet Bastila is you have to convince a Hutt to do a swoop race to get to rescue this
Great.
Jedi.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have to do the swoop
amazing
race.
game.
Yeah.
And
I can't
Bastila is
wait.
in a
They're
cage
doing
in
it.
her like slave bikini, and you save her, and she just kicks the shit out of everyone as soon as you open the cage. It's crazy. Like
Awesome.
that's who I would describe as like a powerful female character, like the exemplary. Like you should make a fucking character off her.
Yeah.
Because she is so well written and so like human and like well spoken. So Bastila for me.
Well, I'm gonna go with Aunt Beru because she has no tentacles. She's human. She makes great fucking
guys
blue
are
milk. No, I'm not picking
clearly-
Aunt Beru.
And she makes Fanook.
Clearly-
Oh, yeah, I'm just fucking kidding on Aunt Beru. It's got to be Leia. It's not even close. Like
Yeah.
by far the most impactful character. Like everything that Rob said, preaching to the fucking choir. Like there's no other. I don't think there's no other female in all of movie
Aren't
that
you
can.
a little short to be a stormtrooper?
Right.
I think that's her opening line. I don't
Yeah.
even if that is that.
To
her
be
phrase?
fair, his action figure's the same height as the Stormtroopers. So.
Yeah, by far Leia. I would love some more canon with her at some point. Hopefully, we'll see. Maybe she'll be in the show. Maybe she'll be in Obi-Wan.
It'd be cool if Billy Lord plays her,
Her Carrie
to see
Fisher's
that.
daughter. Yeah.
even though she plays another character.
Yeah.
It's been a great
No,
show
sequels,
so
I'm
far,
sorry.
boys.
Had a
would
great
say
time.
so.
That was
What
awesome.
an
this is-
episode. Next on the Break Room podcast, possibly vlogging the Ghostbusters. We're gonna we might all go
that's
to the
right.
movie theater
Yeah, we'd
and
like to
check
go
out
see
that
that.
movie.
I looked at the trap, Ray.
Oh, so we should watch. I'm gonna watch.
The next time somebody asks if you're a god, you say yes.
I'm gonna watch the first two. Then I'm gonna watch the first two
Oh,
before
please.
that comes out.
Yeah.
Is
This
that on-
Friday.
Wait, you never?
Is that on?
You've
No,
seen
I
it.
mean I've seen them. I haven't watched them. in the last, like,
Is it on
decade.
any like app?
Streaming? Yeah.
I got the
Anybody
DVDs.
know?
You can borrow them.
Which one's the one with Vigo the Carpathian?
Two.
That's two.
I like that. I like two.
Vigo, how is the baby?
Well, I'd say that was.
they take control of the Statue of Liberty. It's one of the best scenes.
I'd say
Guys,
that was a banger of an episode, boys.
I look
Fucking
forward to
A.
next
And,
Friday, guys. I look
Until next
forward.
Friday, make
It's
sure you
gonna be
time.
great.
Make sure you follow us on all the socials on YouTube, obviously the Break Room Podcast. All the links will be down below in the description where you can find us, the Break Room Podcast pages, and us individually on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, etc. So make sure you go check down the description. And for those of you who are part of the discussion, who goes? Breaking Bad,
Oh God.
Sopranos, Game of Thrones. We
Sweet's
want to
getting
hear.
nervous
We
again.
want to hear
Tough,
your
he's sweating.
feedback because we have a tie right now.
Putting up a
And
poll.
we're going to come back to this at another point. This
Yeah,
is
put
going to
up
be
a
a
poll.
head-to-head,
Oh, this is gonna
but
be-
we want to hear
It's
from
gonna be
you.
a hot debate because it's hard.
Yes.
It's hard for us. It's
We-
gonna be hard for other people.
The stakes are going to be even higher next time, which is
Wanna
why
talk
I
about
think it's
Terminator
okay
next
that we put it on hold.
You hear
But
about the cows that got lost in the marijuana field? The stakes were never higher.
and on that note, everyone, we will see you next week. Have a good one, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.